Hello, everyone, and welcome to...
That's such a boring start.
Okay.
Like if I heard that at a beer.
Okay. Are we still rolling?
We're still rolling, but...
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Did you bring your puns?
I brought at least two.
I wrote down 2 puns. That's all I have.
I did not write anything, so hopefully they keep coming.
Yeah, I didn't have time. So, hey, it's Alpha Rookie. We're back. Another horror-themed movie podcast thing. But this time, we're not doing a movie series.
We're bringing the Cruel Tide... Spirit.
Spirit. This is already off to a terrible start. We are doing Christmas-themed horror movies today.
Yeah.
So, yay!
There's only 5 of them.
Yeah.
And nobody ever made any more.
Until next year when we have new ones to do. Today we are going to cover Krampus, Gremlins, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas, and Santa's Sleigh. S-L-A-Y.
S-L-A-Y.
Courtesy
of CJ Lyons.
Yeah, suggested by CJ Lyons of Den of Geek and ninjasallthewaydown.com, I think.
Ninjas All the Way Down? That's a great title.
I know. I'm really mad that he has that.
That's really good.
I want that. Yes, we're going to cover 5 movies. We're going to spoil them. We're going to talk about them. We're going to laugh. We're going to probably not cry.
No,
I don't think there's any crying.
Cry.
And we're going to also die.
Inside?
Yeah.
A little bit.
So,
every time.
Without any further ado, also, I'm going to give a shout out to our patrons. Thank you.
For sticking around, especially after all this drama, I guess.
That too, but also just the last couple months we've been not doing as much, and I realize now that we're coming around, tax season's coming pretty soon, there's actually money to talk about buying equipment with. I just bought a microphone today. Thank you to our patrons. It's actually really, really helpful because now my wife will let me buy something without having to, she actually was like, yeah, cash that out and then buy that thing that you need. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't feel bad about it.
How do you get your wife to let you do something? Money.
Well, when I'm not spending our money when we need to buy a house.
Yeah.
I do not have the list in front of me, but I can say some of the names. Ted Harrington, Beryl, Leonard Green.
Barrel Berries,
which he will be getting a shirt based off of this podcast as he upped his patronage to a good number. We're going to be sending him an Alpha Rookie shirt.
Woohoo!
Monster Montgomery, Kirsten Tanapka. I wish I would have known I was going to say these things. I would have got the names out. Sorry if I forgot your name. I didn't have time to get it out, and we're already recording.
You're not any less special.
But yes, thank you to Patreon a million times over, and to people who have YouTube Red that listen to our content and add revenue that way. It's been really helpful. I love you guys. So let's get to it.
So much love.
So much love. Krampus.
Starting with Krampus?
Yes.
Is there an order? We're doing this in the order that you watched them? Is that what
and the order that I just said.
I don't remember. I wasn't
Krampus, Gremlins, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas, and Santa's Sleigh.
Right, but what's the
reason why?
Logic, yeah.
I have no idea. That's what order I wrote them down in.
That's fine. That works for me. Krampus came out.
Let's go. Some of these, one of these more modern. Most of these are pretty old. Some of them are classic films. Some of them are fun and stupid.
I think it's a good mix.
Yeah.
I think the only two that kind of overlap really are Gremlins and Krampus, which I guess we'll kind of talk about that a little bit.
I don't know why you say that, but let's get to it.
I'll tell you about it when we talk about them, I guess.
So Krampus, I've had a copy of it for a while, and I've been meaning to watch it, and it's really just because Adam Scott was in it. It was the only reason I was like, oh, this might be good, whatever. I'm glad we did this, so it finally got me to sit around and just watch that movie, because I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot, too. I liked it a lot, actually. So this is Michael Dougherty?
Dougherty, yeah, sounds about right.
I did see Trick or Treat a while ago, and I liked it.
Okay, wait, sorry. Before you do that, Krampus, 2015.
Yeah.
Michael Dougherty also did Superman Returns.
Well, he's an assistant to what's his face?
Bryan Singer.
Yeah, the latest add him to the list.
Just Superman Returns, Trick or Treat, X-Men 2. Some of the work that this guy has done.
Yeah, but again, Trick or Treat and Krampus are his films.
Yes.
Like, they're not like films he helped on, they're movies that he made. And he is also slated to direct the next Godzilla movie. So that's how that works now.
Yeah, so this is a name of, it's not nobody. Also, the patrons, I want to add to Nicholas R., Bruce Templeton. I forgot Bruce Templeton. I love that name. David Laslett. I can't read if it's Kirsten or Kristen Konopka. Husky Jeans 101 and Jordy Frazier. Thank you all. Right. I logged in and caught the list.
Good podcast host.
And next month we will be doing a shorter podcast movie thing that we will not be charging. It will be free for the new year. Just to let everybody know. Look forward to that in January. You probably don't even know what it is, even though I told you.
No, you told me, but you haven't given them to me yet.
Yeah, no. So anyways, back to Krampus.
Krampus, 2015, Michael Dougherty. I was saying, okay, so I saw Trick or Treat a while ago. I don't know when that seems like a few years before that. And I enjoyed it. And I don't know why I missed Krampus. I think that it was just one of those things where somebody was like, it's okay, like that, or something, like, just somebody kind of offhandedly was like, it's nothing special, or, just didn't like, I don't know, probably didn't have enough like horror fans or enough like the right kind of friends back then. But watching it now, I'm like, no, this is a lot of fun. I can't believe I didn't go see this in theaters.
It's the thing I liked most about it was that it just kind of goes.
Yeah,
it's one of those, and
I love the opening.
It's kind of funny. I was watching Red Letter Media review on Independence Day earlier, and he mentioned that it'd be really interesting if that movie just started with, if you remember Independence Day, there's like the whole beginning where they're like seeing it come over the moon and like, oh, SETI, like they're calling the guys in the government going, there's this thing coming, right? And then Will Smith wakes up and like is getting ready and sees the spaceship over LA. Imagine if the movie just literally started with like Will Smith wakes up to an earthquake. Oh, it's just an earthquake, no big deal. Brushes his teeth, goes like, get this paper, and then you see the thing in the sky. That'd be a great opening. It just starts. I kind of feel like Krampus does that. It was maybe 5 or 10 minutes most of just, the family's coming, they're terrible, whatever. And then she goes to the boyfriend's house, and it's like going.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more setup than that. You have so it has the opening credit sequence of the whole slow motion, like Black Friday kind of style.
Oh yeah,
Christmas mania, right? Which
sorry, this is not Jaws. It doesn't take 45 minutes to get to the good stuff. Or sorry, Jaws takes an hour to get to the good stuff.
It sets the tone really quickly and really well. I knew immediately I was going to like this movie just from exactly the way this credit sequence is going.
My wife said the same thing. She was watching it with me, and she's just like, I think I like this. I think I like this a lot.
Somebody had said this, I don't remember who, was saying that he feels like Michael Dougherty, it's not like a movie that hates Christmas. It's like a movie that kind of makes fun of it at the same time and kind of embraces the things that are shitty about Christmas.
Right.
Like having to go shopping, like the kind of like consumerism that we associate with the holiday now.
Seeing your family members that you hate.
Seeing family members that you hate or whatever. Because the movie is kind of like, yeah, they're horrible, but at the same time, like they do kind of form a kinship, sort of like, why do we protect each other? Because we're family, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though, oh God. But the movie definitely opens in such a way. But not even
like part of that. Like one of the things, the store's called Mucho Mart. Yeah. So it's even like a hyper realistic version of like Idiocracy. Where what's the store called?
I don't remember. I bet like
or like in Wall-E, it's called like Big and Save or something like that. There's a scene in there where security's tasing a guy, and the security guard's like getting off on it, like he's having a good time tasing him. Yeah, it's a very take the worst parts of reality,
right,
and then mix it in with like, well, what if people like, you know what I mean? Like, what if the guy was like, oh yeah, come in here, I'm gonna fucking tase you,
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It sets the kind of black comedy tone for the movie a little bit, but then it ends up being pretty sincere. But then it kind of also stays in that black comedy tone a little bit too. By the time you get to the end, so anyway, so I was saying there is a little bit more setup. The kid ends up getting a fight with one of the other kids in the credit sequence, and like a major scene. And so when they come home, you kind of do some character development where the kid's talking about why he got in a fight with the other kid, and kind of you start establishing that this kid's way into Christmas. And even though everybody says he's kind of heard other kids tell him that Santa doesn't exist, he's kind of in this limbo, this like he wants to still believe, but he's about that point where he's about ready to let go of believing.
He's way too old to believe.
I know, but that's kind of the point, right? That's why he gets made fun of, and he's got this grandmother who speaks German, who makes cookies, and
she's great. I love her.
And they kind of set up also that his parents are like, they're a little bit like yuppies, and yeah. So and then the family shows
like
up,
they're extremely upper middle class.
Right.
Dad works a lot, leaves mom at home, makes his money. He's not a cool guy or anything, but he's more concerned with having a big house, having expensive items.
Well, his thing too, they set up the whole like, oh, I got to be on. I said I wouldn't work, but that doesn't mean I won't be on my phone.
Right.
So that the kind of Robin Williams and Hook kind of thing. Hey, I'm a '90s kid. Fuck you. Everybody hates Hook apparently, but unless you like grew up when you were a kid watching it, just like everything else, I guess.
I don't give a shit about Hook.
Really?
I don't think I've ever seen. I couldn't tell you.
All right.
I don't remember. Anyways.
So I think the movie kind of skewers both sides in equal shares. Like I think the family, the Red State family that shows up is very like that. But also I think that Toni Collette and Adam Scott kind of are painted with a you're supposed to identify with them more because your main character is this kid and he's the but it is kind of like both sides.
It's also hyper real.
Yeah.
Like, he drives a Hummer with a gun case in it. Like, it's beyond just regular. So,
but it's way
works.
over the top. Whereas the other family is, I guess, a little bit more realistic. Yeah.
It's kind of cartoony, but that's what makes it actually a lot of fun.
Home Alone is the word that I kept. Like, I felt like it was very much going for a Home Alone vibe.
No.
I think so. Completely.
Wait, in what reason?
Just like the family in this big brownstone house, or I don't know if that's what you call them, but like, big brick.
Don't know, because I'm not upper middle class like that.
I'm not either, but and it's in a snowy thing or whatever, and your family's coming over. I don't know. I was getting kind of, and then like cousins arguing with each other and getting fights and stuff.
I will go with that. That is Home Alone, but I mean, of course,
not like the traps and shit. I just mean like the first. I could be wrong, but I bet Michael Dougherty at least had Home Alone in his head a little bit for the first like opening 15.
I was like, but also Christmas Vacation. Like when Randy.
Oh yeah, obviously Christmas Vacation as well. Yes,
it's like that is,
of course.
This is homage. This is not just like, I like
his
it,
dysfunctional family Christmas comedy. I guess is like put in anything at this point.
Your hillbilly hit cousins are gonna come, and their dad's crazy. Randy Quaid, is that who that is?
No, and Christmas Vacation, Randy Quaid. Yeah,
and they're driving the RV and their dog is fucking slobbering everywhere. Yeah, it's very much that.
Yeah,
for sure. So they come over for a 3 days. To see them during the holidays, because the kid's mom's sister is married to the hillbilly guy. Mm-hmm. So it's Adam Scott and the other guy are not related. They're just brothers-in-laws, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because his husband and whatever.
Brothers-in-law, yeah.
So the family is actually the mom and the aunt. So that's right. They got 2 kids, or 4 kids. 2 of them are twins, and the dad wants them to be raised basically he regrets they weren't boys.
Right.
So they're very tomboys. They're wrestling. They have a baby that no one pays attention to. They have a dog.
There wasn't even a baby in the movie. Now that you mentioned
they forgot the baby was in the movie because they were literally like, "Didn't you forget one of your children?" Like, "Oh yeah, she's in the car." And then there's the older. Is it a girl too?
What's that?
No,
there's an older sister.
And there's a fat younger brother.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't mean that as in like.
And he just doesn't talk. He's like Game Boy Kid. He's the one that goes to places and he just doesn't talk to anybody, and he's got like a little. Right, like Game Boy tethered to him. And
I don't say fat to be like, oh, he's Chunk from Goonies. Like, no, literally.
No, that's like the idea is that this kid doesn't do anything. He's a lump. He
eats food and junk. Yeah. So that's the family makeup. On the yuppie side, we have Adam Scott, the wife.
Is it Toni Collette? I think that's the actress name.
I could look up names of actors.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wasn't sure.
We have the parents, and then we have 2 kids. One daughter who's, I would say, like 15, 16, and then the boy is probably like 9, 10. Right. That's the makeup of the family. So what happens in this movie? What is Krampus about? Really?
Krampus is I didn't really know anything about Krampus, by the way. Like,
is this real?
The actual this is like a real German thing.
Sorry, when I say real, I mean is this comes from real life?
Yes, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
but you watched Office Space, right?
Yeah,
I mean not Office Space, The Office.
The Office. Yeah.
Dwight, there was like a thing where Dwight like was like, oh, I'm Krampus, like I think once, because isn't his whole deal like his like Germanic family heritage or some shit, like I don't know, it's strange like that. I don't know anything about Krampus. Krampus is apparently just the evil version of Santa Claus that like it's like a evil bedtime story essentially. Like the whole nice or naughty thing. Like here in the States, it's like okay, well, if you're naughty, it just means you don't get any presents. But if you grew up here, it's like if you're naughty, like literally like the devil's gonna come get you.
Which is weird though because the grandmother. Oh, there's the grandmother too.
Right.
Her whole deal was when she was a kid. She hated where she lived. The people were terrible. They didn't care about Christmas spirit. So when she went to bed that night, she was wishing that they would disappear or wishing that something bad would happen to them. Yeah. And then Krampus shows up and murders everybody. Claymation?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because I'm getting confused now because there was also like a stop motion thing in Santa's Sleigh. So I don't remember as well. But I remember the animation being really cool. Maybe that's making a comeback. I don't know.
It was like more like Coraline kind of stuff.
It was more like Coraline is stop motion. So
right, but it was.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. It doesn't look like clay.
It wasn't Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No, not like that.
That's what Santa's Sleigh looks
that
like.
would have like pushed it into like a comedic territory, whereas this was like very moody. It was very artistic. It was smart choice on their part.
But so she dreamed, or she would wish.
So Krampus is the evil Santa Claus. Well, that comes later. So
think of it, because he shows up, kills everybody, but like I said, if you're naughty, you get punished.
Right.
Here, the thing was, I guess her punishment was like her wish comes true. All these people get hurt, die, murdered. She gets left alive as a reminder.
It's a reminder, yeah. To not lose the Christmas spirit or to lose hope or whatever.
I just murdered everybody, so you'll love Christmas more.
Right. Which is kind of cool. Like I said, this movie's got a little bit of a mean streak to it. That's what it's not.
This movie is very well.
It's PG-13.
It's mean and not like the Silent Night, Deadly Night.
No, it's mean in like a it's meaner than Gremlins, but I still consider this more of like an all ages horror film.
Yeah. And the thing I love about it is it's a very not in the camera work, but it takes place mainly in a house.
Yeah.
So it's very claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's got
which I always love a horror siege.
It's a Christmas horror siege movie.
You know, I was like, add this to the horror siege. This is great. You know, it would be claustrophobic if you will.
There we go. Good. My leg is Krampusing up. So no?
I had one and I forgot to write it down, and I trying to remember what it was.
So the kid's really into Christmas. They're the main kid.
Oh, I know. Sorry, I'm just going to spill it now because I'll forget to do it if I don't now. I mean, we usually do podcasts for like 3+ hours sometimes. By the end, like, usually have a cramp in my ass. You know, a cramp ass, if you will.
Okay.
That's what it was going to be. I had to remember to do it.
Sorry, anyways. I stepped on your Krampus joke. So the kid's really into Christmas, but Christmas sucks. Like, everybody's fighting and and like, you're a dork for still believing in Santa.
He hates his extended family more than like Adam Scott does or the mom does. So
yeah, and he ends up he has a letter that he has written to Santa, and one of the cousins gets a hold of it and does that mean bully school class thing where they read it out loud, and it's actually kind of sweet because at the end he's like a really sweet kid where he actually well wishes like the rest of his family even though he doesn't like them.
Right.
And it turns into a big fight and all this stuff. The kid's really upset. He storms up to his room, takes the letter, and it's just like, fuck Christmas, because he's so into it and has heartbroken on it or whatever.
Funny enough, that was the tagline on the poster.
Yeah.
Fuck Christmas.
And tears it up into a whole bunch of pieces and throws it out the window. And, of course, that's like...
it goes into a cyclone into the sky.
Yeah. And so because he has lost all of his Christmas hope... And
Krampus gets a hard on and shows up
in their neighborhood, and the whole neighborhood gets covered in snow. It seems like it's just a really big storm. That it's like you said. This I know we've actually been talking about this longer than how quickly this happens in the movie.
Right.
You're right. The movie gets going very quickly because there's not like it's not like The Mist where there's a long deliberation of like, well, I don't know, what is it? Is it just going to be a fog bank, or it could be this, or it could be that? It's like, oh, it's a storm, but then like almost immediately shit starts happening.
Like there's no cell phone coverage, there's no TV, there's no internet, there's no. Eventually the power goes out.
Right.
Not right away, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe pretty close.
Grandma starts like making cocoa and
my wife was like, how is she doing that? I'm like, there's a fireplace. She was actually boiling water.
She's from a place where, well, yeah, maybe we don't have electricity where she comes from. So the teenager, the older sister, being a teenager, wants to go visit the boy.
Because there's no phone reception. So she's like, I haven't heard from him. Is he okay?
Right. Oh, was it? I thought it was more of like a come over here because my parents or whatever.
I think it's the she's using that as an excuse.
Yeah.
But also she's like, again,
I thought she wants to kind of go visit the boy down the street.
To be sexist, she's like, I've texted 9 times. I haven't heard back.
Right.
I need to check on him.
Right. So she walks outside and it's I don't know. I'm from California, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, don't go out there. That has nothing to do with monsters. That looks very dangerous. It's insanely snowy and cold and blowing or whatever. And we get to see Krampus not like full on like action figure see everything detail thing, but he shows up pretty quickly.
And he's jumping on houses.
This is one of my favorite sequences in the movie. For me personally, I just love the scale of it and the sound.
Yeah,
I just thought was really well done. She kind of Doherty kind of just leaves Krampus in the frame for like the reveal. It's not like a smash cut or she turns around and all of a sudden he's there or anything like that. It's just kind of her looking around and kind of noticing that there's.
Well, I feel like there's a shot where she's looking. She's a close up and you can see behind her and he's just standing on the fucking roof of a house.
Right. And
like full in frame. Yeah.
And it's just kind of one of those things where eventually you notice like, what is that? That just doesn't belong on a house.
That's not a decoration.
That's not a decoration. Right. And she screams, turns around, runs, and as she's doing this, this guy's got like a cloven hoof horse feet thing, and they're just clomping along from house to house.
Like he's jumping from house to house while running along the roof. And
he kind of makes the so this is where I'm kind of already immediately enamored with this. Just the kind of I don't know the actual Krampus myth,
right?
But within the mythology of this movie, I'm like, oh, he's up on the roof, right? That whole Santa thing.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, but this is fucking terrifying. Like, there's something massive up on the roof. And he starts howling, and it kind of sounds like maybe it was kind of like, oh, that's where the ho, ho, ho comes from a little bit. Just the way it was like, maybe the way it was done.
I don't know. I didn't catch any of this, but yeah.
Yeah. So she.
Well, so it goes from being now a monster, because the next thing that happens, so she runs along to a DHL truck, and the driver is dead and the guy, he had just delivered presents to their house.
And he delivers Santa's
big bag of
satchel.
Yeah.
You know, and
his sack, if you will.
Right.
Santa's sack on
yeah,
their door.
His Trojan
his Trojan sack. But anyways, like, so now at this point you get to realize, okay, this isn't like some internal thing with the family. This isn't just affecting the child or the kid. You've now found a dead person out in the world, outside the home.
Right.
This is, he's just murdering.
Right.
Like, he's on a spree.
Yeah.
And so she jumps under the truck. Yeah, she jumps under the truck. And this is where it kind of turns to just being a monster, because, you know, she sees the feet, and he's like looking around, and he leaves. And then she looks over, and there's a Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
is
that's
that
what I
this
remember.
And, you know, these are all, I think there's multiple movies or TV shows that have like the box where you're turning the knob and it's playing the music and it's going to pop at some point, and that's like the scary thing. But here it's more like comical but scary. I think it opens and then nothing comes out, and then slowly something comes out, and then you just kind of hear the scream, the shaking around, and you go, okay, wait a minute, is she dead?
Yeah.
Did it eat her? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
Right.
And it's kind of cool because it's not just like, oh, she got squished. I thought he was going to pick the truck up and smash her with it.
Yeah, it's not quite that kind of again.
But like, is she going to come back?
Right.
I don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
I don't know what his...
But I would assume, because I did know the pedigree for this. The pedigree for this and was like, especially it's got kids in it and stuff. Like, okay, they're not going to be like chopping heads off and stuff. Most likely.
Most likely.
It's not what I was expecting. So kind of, it's more just like people sort of just disappear. Or taken away. But you don't actually see like real violence inflicted on anybody.
But I was also, you know, like with it, people would get taken and they get like spider webbed up in the thing, right? Like, I don't know what his end game is. Does he eat the people? Is he throwing them to hell? I don't know, you know? So when she disappears, I'm just like, okay, well, I'll see where this goes, you know? I figure she'll make a comeback because he didn't see her die.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like the opening, the kid's literal arm gets bitten off. So it is, or in the new movie anyway, that's...
In what?
In It.
Oh, and It, yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's
what I'm just saying. Like, you know immediately from just the way that you know, it's just a different kind of movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying that, like, it's not, I'm like...
I don't know how much horror...
Well, I'll talk about it more when we get to the end, because it kind of has to do with the way the movie wraps up. All right, so... What? You want to go beat by beat how everybody gets picked off, or huh?
No, I just with her and it's funny, whenever I think of the Jack in the Box rotating hand-on music thing, I always think of Will Ferrell opening one. And I don't know if it's in Step Brothers or what movie, but he's just like super scared. He's waiting for it to pop up. When it does, it scares him. He's, God damn it. Like, anyway, so yeah, she's gone for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
Yeah.
She's not, you didn't see her get killed, but...
I mean, this is going to be the case for everybody that gets...
But they go out looking for her, and I'm thinking maybe they'll find her. I don't know. I don't remember how we get there, but...
For me, it's sort of like the way I remember the movie, like the structure of it is sort of like setup, right? Yeah. Like everything we've just talked about. And then...
But eventually the dad and the other dad go out looking for her.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we get there.
From here, the next thing for me is just like demon toys. This is...
Well, see, that's the main part. But look, the dads go out looking, and they drive the Hummer because the Hummer can get through the snow. They find a snow plow that the driver's been... Is he dead in the inside, or is he just not there anymore?
I don't remember that.
Windshield smashed out. Keys are in the ignition, but it's stuck. It's just sitting there. They go into a house, and reminds me a lot of This Is the End. Mm-hmm. Like when they leave James Franco's house and they go looking around, like everything's like misty, and the houses are empty and kind of fucked up and broken. So it's like that. They go into a house, and there's like snow everywhere because the door's been busted in. Everything's destroyed. I like that the chimney part is like been broken. So if Krampus really came down the chimney, he's way too fucking big.
Right.
He wouldn't fit in the chimney, but the idea that like, oh, something came down the chimney and it broke the walls, it was big, it's scary. And then we have tremors under the snow.
Well, that's way later.
No, that happens right then and there.
Really?
It happens to the other dad, the uncle, I guess you want to call him. He gets grabbed. And Adam Scott starts shooting with a fucking gun.
Oh, okay.
So he turns in from liberal, like, yuppie, upper middle class to, like, shooting a revolver.
Right.
To save
but he saves him, though.
To save the guy with the big shotgun.
That's like how Adam Scott gets taken out later on in the movie.
Yeah, the Hummer gets destroyed, so their car's gone. You know, they're running out of ammunition, stuff like that. But it's a great, like, okay, you're not safe anywhere at this point. The other houses have been destroyed.
Right.
He's been in there. If you go out in the snow, there's things hiding in the snow, grabbing you from underneath and doing the trimmers thing. So they return home, but keep it all secret because they don't want to scare everybody.
Right.
And that's when it gets really fun.
Yeah.
Because it gets really weird after this.
So the sack that the DHL guy brought has presents in it. It has like the quintessential Santa Claus grab bag.
Gingerbread men.
You got your gingerbread. You got a teddy bear. You got a toy angel, I guess, or like
that was
an angel doll.
A weird thing,
a robot, like a wind-up robot toy, and a Jack in the Box.
That Jack in the Box, man. That becomes the most the best
sound, man. That scream. Ugh.
No, just it's basically a snake.
Yeah.
That eats people, and it gets really big, and its mouth opens really gross, and it's...
So you're going to get the Nightmare on Elm Street thing. Oh, no,
yes.
no, sorry,
no.
Nightmare Before Christmas, excuse me.
But also, there is a Freddy Krueger big, large head that eats somebody in one of those movies.
Yeah, probably not the first one.
It's like a snake.
I just watched the first one.
No, it's like the third one or something like that. There is a large Freddy Krueger snake thing.
But there's like a snake thing in Nightmare Before Christmas, too.
I know. There is. I'm just saying that when you said
it's the same,
Elm Street,
just like, here's all these toys, but they're Halloween scary toys that are going to antagonize the families.
Yeah. Teddy bear's got sharp teeth. And
Well, so...
Except for the gingerbread men. Those things are fucking hilarious.
The Red Letter Media guys were talking about Krampus, and they had said like the aesthetic for them was sort of like they're demons that are wearing like the disguise of a... Like, you could probably like peel off the shit like on the Jack in the Box, and underneath you would actually see like this big scary worm monster thing.
Yeah.
But you only get a glimpse of it when it opens up its mouth.
Right.
What it's like on the inside. Yeah, the gingerbread men are kind of the only like
comic
relief. That's what I was worried the whole movie would be.
Silly.
They were fine, and I enjoyed it. But like, I thought the whole thing would be like just total comedy. Like, the gingerbread men aren't scary.
Well, they're like,
yeah,
and they're like, they gang up on him and stuff like that. Yeah, he shoots one with the shotgun and it blows to bits. The other one's on fire chasing him.
Yeah,
and then the dog eats him.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's
I loved this scene.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, all this stuff still had like a tinge of humor to it, but I felt like they're pretty scary. Like, I mean, not kept me up at night or whatever. But
what happens with the first gingerbread man is that there's a hook that comes down the chimney.
That's right. And I forgot about that.
The fat kid Howie sees it. Everyone's asleep around the fire. And the whole thing with the grandma was like, you have to keep the fire going.
Right.
Keep the fire strong, keeps him away or whatever.
Yeah.
Howie sees it, reaches into the fireplace and grabs the hook because there's a gingerbread man tied up, takes a bite out of it, looks down and looks up and starts screaming at him.
Yeah.
And it wraps him up and pulls his ass up the chimney.
Yeah. And they get him back.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
They go to wrestle him. The mom grabs his leg.
It's the sisters later they get. I'm just trying to remember who's left for the body count. So like,
well, so they're grabbing him. There's like a chain of people like holding him.
Yeah, so he does get taken.
And the gingerbread man comes down and goes like, ah!
Yeah.
And then she freaks out, lets him go, and then he gets Howie's gone.
Howie's gone. Yeah.
But that was like your first introduction to like
the whole family sees like the
But it's scary because even though it's funny, it was a very horrific thing that just happened.
It's sort of like a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory kind of thing, where you don't really see what happens to them, but like it's probably not going to be good.
Take him to the dejuicing room.
Right. So what are we doing? There's still more siege stuff. They're trying to keep warm, trying to argue about like what they should do or how to get away. This is, I think, at the point maybe where Grandma tells her Krampus story, I'm assuming, after, and that's where we get the animated sequence, which was really nice. And she shows the little, I don't know what it is, like a little Christmas bell.
Yeah, like an ornament.
That Krampus leaves with her when she was a kid. And she's kind of like got a pretty like we're all fucked kind of thing going on. Like, she doesn't like, it's not like the kind of thing in the trope in the movie where she's like, this is what we need to do.
If we all hold hands and believe in Christmas, it'll go away.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
They have to wait until Christmas is over, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I don't gonna wait till anything until they're all gone.
Well, so the house seems safe until you start hearing things upstairs, and then they go up there. There's a big fight in the attic. Each one of the twins, one gets away. Basically, the house gets broken into. Just destroy the wall, and the elves show up. And the elves are like
dog go running into the air conditioning vent to go fight the Jack in the Box monster.
Yeah. Is that where the dog disappeared finally?
I guess so.
That's where he just like exited the movie. He didn't get eaten or anything like that. He was actually doing a good job of helping.
Yeah.
No, elves show up and
they're like these little. The production design for this movie was really fascinating. Like I'd like to see the art, like the costume designers and stuff, because there was a very like artificial quality that they intentionally. Maybe that's the wrong word.
What do you mean? Like
the elves, nothing has expression. Like
they're like masks.
Everything's like wearing a mask. Yeah, that's I guess what I'm getting at.
Well, I don't know if it was a mix of CG or like with practical effects, but I remember they're like
lots of practical effects in this movie, by the way.
But there's mostly practical, but they're like very short and stout.
Yeah,
they're very wide.
Yeah,
so like they're wearing these kind of like tattered clothes, but you could tell like as if the person wearing them, they're not full grown people. I don't know if they were young kids, mid or little people. I don't know the proper term. But like their shoulders are wider than like two people.
Right.
So they're short and big.
Yeah.
Seem like, if I remember correctly. So the elves are fucking scary. They're not, we're magical elves make toys. They're like, no, we're going to eat you alive. They're goblins, basically.
Yeah, they're goblins, yeah.
And then someone gets taken away, and then the uncle decides to ride the worm like a fucking cowboy, like Dr. Strangelove. He gets on top of it and rides it out the window.
Yeah.
And that's his exit from the movie.
He's done.
I was just like, what? I'm gonna get you, Howie. Like, what's going on?
And this is the point where Grandma stays behind. She's like, you guys need to go.
Because you think, like, where's this movie going? Are we just got to hold up in the house until everything got resolved or what? Now the house is no longer safe either.
Well, this is the point where really the movie was telling me, as I was watching it, that this is going to be a movie where it's just literally, like, about who's the next person to disappear until one person's left. But I still wasn't watching it that way, I guess. I was still kind of just like, at some point there's going to be like a turnaround, but there's not. So what is it? The Toni Collette and Adam Scott.
The elves take the baby. Like
the elves take the baby.
The thing that's just like, you can't take the baby. Bye, baby. We're going to eat you.
And I'm assuming that's also where the sister, I don't even remember. There's the aunt and the sister, and I don't know.
They're both still there.
Okay.
And now it's like, okay, the only thing we have is let's go get to the snowplow that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
And this is where it feels like The Mist. It was, well, what do we do when we get the snowplow? We'll drive to the high school. It doubles it as an emergency shelter.
It's snowing everywhere.
And if it's no good there, we'll go to the police station. If the police station's no good, we'll just keep driving until we find something. And that reminds me of The Mist when it was like, let's just get in a car and just drive. Because eventually we'll exit this thing, right?
At this point in the movie, were you like kind of... Like, maybe it's a stupid question or stupid thing to think about, but are you thinking to yourself, like, this is something that, okay, so you watch the movie like The Mist, and you're like, this isn't in their heads, this is happening?
Right.
And then do you think of it like The Mist, or do you think like, no, these guys are trapped in like a magical
I think
dimension, like it wouldn't matter where they went, it would be like, they're trapped in the upside down.
Well, that's the question, is like, is it the whole world?
But you don't know because you haven't watched Stranger Things yet.
No, I have not. Once I saw the DHL
they're trapped
guy.
in the Silent Hill version of their town.
But once I saw like the DHL guy was dead, like someone outside of that family had been murdered.
Right.
Or murder's a weird word. I guess it's technically murder, but do you charge a monster with murder?
Right.
Or does he just kill, right? There's dead people besides them. That means it's affecting reality, I guess.
So people in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and a lot of them are gone, but they were like...
So you imagine like everybody else in the house in the neighborhood was actually having a perfectly functional family reunion, like
but the stupid
super
kid.
Happy, but this one fucking kid ruined it for the whole township.
Well, they said like most of them were gone on vacation and stuff, so most of them were empty. But yeah, once there was an outside the snowplow and the DHL thing, like
there's some universe where they actually could have escaped and gotten to safety, like outside of this.
So I don't know. Do you keep driving and is there like a cloud where it's like, oh, now you're free of it?
I guess the way I think of it is the opposite. I think of it as just like, I don't know. Like I think that if like in the real world, like somebody drives by after this all happened and it just looks like a normal neighborhood,
and they're just
gone.
Yeah, see, I was like a little bit back and forth because it's like, I don't think you can just drive away from it.
Yeah,
but it can't be the whole world.
I mean,
so where does it end?
Well, the part of the reason why I feel that is the ending,
right?
But
I think that's what happens. So I
mean, this is stupid to talk about.
Yeah,
it's like ruining the movie, but I was just kind of curious.
But I think this actually does. Like, this is actually happening.
Yeah,
I don't know what the radius is.
Right,
I think it's the whole town. Like I said, if you lived in a town,
you kill one of the elves and capture it and like take it to a government facility for further.
What
research.
I mean was like, this is the kind of thing where like it happens like some with Tremors again. It's this town. Once you hit like the land border where there's like, okay, this isn't the city limits because it's like an arbitrary line. It's like there's none other town for 10 miles. So this is like an isolated village or something like that. Right. The whole village is destroyed in reality by this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like it. it would have the like, oh, the thing blew up and killed 130 something. All these people went missing. It's because it's an isolated city or town or whatever you want to call it. It happens all there.
Right.
If you can get out of the town, you got away. Good for you. So yeah, it is happening. But the people who do get taken or murdered or killed or whatever you want to call
it, into snowmen.
They're the ones who. Yes, I noticed that too. I was hoping they would like break the snowman open.
Yeah.
And the kid would be inside the snowman to save him.
I think it's kind of creepier actually, just sort of like not. Yeah, I don't know the
shit. But yeah, I think the people who lose, who get taken, whatever, they end up in the ending. So whatever, they're going for the snowplow. The grandma stays behind, locks the door. How does Adam Scott? He sacrifices himself. Says, I'm gonna shoot these things so I run out of ammo. Yeah. The mom gets pulled under. The aunt gets dragged under the snow.
Yeah, it's just like him and his cousin. One of his cousins left, right?
And then the snowplow.
The elves come and take her out too.
Yeah,
and they just leave him.
But like they felt like he was gonna get away, and he was gonna drive.
They wouldn't start.
Did he drive the snowplow away?
No, he just sits there in the snowplow, and I'm trying to remember now. I can't. No, he doesn't go away. It's just like they take everything, and he like runs back out, and then Krampus like sort of confronts him.
Yeah.
And then it's like, here's your note.
No. So he has that bell that the grandma had.
Right.
So his whole thing is he should be the survivor, just like grandma was to remember to have the Christmas spirit. No, they open up a portal. They open up a hole to hell, and he's like sacrifice all because she says Christmas has to be about sacrifice. Also, it's not just about greed. It's about family, but it's also like sacrificing to have love and whatever. Mm-hmm. So he says, kill me,
take me,
spare everybody else.
Right.
And then they laugh at him.
Yeah.
Like as if we give a shit about what you want.
Yeah.
They throw the cousin in the hole, and then they throw him in the hole. Krampus just
I don't want to like jump around because that scene is really interesting.
It is. Because
it goes back and forth a couple. Like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, they laughed at him and did it. Like, there was a whole bizarre thing where, they laughed at him, and then he kind of went up there. He like threw the bell at him or something like that. And he ends up like crying a tear.
Right.
And Krampus like kind of very gingerly reaches his claw out and like takes the tear. And you kind of are almost getting him, oh, maybe he's changing his mind or turning around or something like that.
Or he succeeded in his plan of like this child needed to learn the lesson. Right. But then doesn't he just pick him up by the head
him up too,
and drop him in the hole?
Pretty much, yeah. And so they show his face finally. Or I guess they showed the Krampus's face when Grandma was confronting him. I can't remember. But in my head, when they first showed him like jumping around on rooftops, I was imagining a much more like animalistic looking.
Is it kind of a horse?
No, he was a
goat thing.
He was a terrifying Santa face.
No, he had like a long snout with a tongue that came out.
No, you're imagining that in your head. You need to pull it up on the computer right now so you can look at it. He, like everything else, maybe underneath that's what it looked like, but he had what looked like a slack-jawed post-stroke Santa face.
Post-stroke.
Because his mouth is just like hanging open. He's got the beard.
Yeah.
And he's got these super like orange, gross, like bug-looking eyes, and the tongue. And his teeth are kind of sticking out. It's a grotesque. I think it's kind of like everything else. It's sort of more like a Santa mask that he's wearing. But no, it's not anything like what you're describing. It's absolutely like a man's. It's a grotesque version of a Santa face with a beard and everything like that, which I was not expecting, I guess.
I don't remember. I thought it was more like like in Beetlejuice when they pull the nose out real far, the eyeballs, whatever. No big deal. And then how does it end? The kid wakes up.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, so here's what happened. I'm watching it going, he wakes up. Now, either A, it's going to be all a dream, but what's going to happen, he's going to go downstairs and he's going to say something, and they're all going to have had the same dream. Right? And then...
Which is what happened.
So they learn the lesson.
Right.
But then, like I said...
And you thought that's where the movie's
but he comes downstairs and everyone's in a much better mood. The family's working together. Right. They don't hate each other. So it's like, oh, and then he says something...
It's Groundhog Day. It's over. The curse is broken.
Then he says something that makes them all kind of look up, and then they kind of all remember as well.
Right.
And I go, okay, they all had the same dream, but they all lived. But then you pull the camera back, and they're in a snow globe on Krampus's shelf.
Right.
I went, okay, that was a good... I didn't know that was going there. Like,
that's was great. If the movie had ended right there with just, again, what you'd expect, sort of like just a Christmas Carol... Scrooge style, like, did any of it happen? It doesn't matter because we all love Christmas.
They learned their lesson.
They all learned their lesson. And that would have been fine because I thought that's the kind of movie I was in. But then that other ending, again, it kind of peeled to that more meaner streak that existed in the movie. I guess fucking spoiler. The cover for this movie is a massive spoiler, but not one, because there's no way you would guess that has anything to do with the way the movie plays out in a million years. But it's just kind of funny. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because it's literally just like Krampus' hand holding a snow globe.
So I'm just looking for something. I can't find it.
So anyway, and then there's like just shit tons of snow globes all over the place. Just snow globe menagerie.
So he's got like a bunch of other families and stuff.
Yeah. So yes, they're all damned.
To like repeat Christmas forever,
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Dude, like they eventually realize and then they're trapped and who knows. But it was a cool touch.
Yeah.
Anyway, Krampus is really good. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is a good Christmas horror movie.
And it's not like slow burn. It's a good, quick.
It's a nice, tight 90 minutes, what I feel like, 95 maybe. It's a lot of fun. I think so.
Yeah. So let's move on to an ad break. I don't know.
You want to do a fake ad break?
No, I don't know if YouTube inserts ads or how they do it. They're going to put like long videos, get an ad in the middle sometimes, and I don't know how they break that. So yeah, if there is an ad inserted, then anyone who's watching the YouTube video, you'll see the yellow break marks. You'll know that's when we transition to movies.
Oh, there you go.
That'd actually be helpful. Yeah. Because I think
not bad.
When half in the bag, like there's usually a yellow line in the middle where the ad is.
Yeah.
If you don't want to watch the first movie, you just get right to that part and you know where it starts.
We should start doing that.
Yeah. Or I write the time code in the description. I have to figure out when we start talking between movies and stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's a little more work.
But either way, sometimes, yeah. Maybe there's a video ad. Maybe there's a YouTube ad between our movies.
I'm just saying maybe they haven't seen the first two movies, but they want to hear us talk about the third and fourth one.
I'm just saying if there's an insert thing that does ads in there, I don't know if it's going to put it in between movies. I'm going to try to.
We'll look into it.
Yeah.
For now, let's look into
Gremlins. Yeah, Gremlins.
Gremlins, the quintessential.
All right. There's nothing we can say that you haven't already heard. Next movie. No.
I know, right?
I haven't seen this movie let me say this though. I have not watched Gremlins 1 since I was a kid. I've seen Gremlins 2 multiple times. So for me, this was kind of like as if I was seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
There was parts about it that I remembered. But most of it was kind of like, oh, I kind of remember this. Oh, I don't know. I didn't know this part, 1984, Joe Dante, who also made Piranha, Small Soldiers, and one of my favorite movies growing up, and I have not watched this in many, many years, and if I might watch it now, it might be terrible. It's starring Corey Feldman, I think, Rock and Roll High School.
Maybe.
It is a dirty, dumb, terrible teenage movie, from what I can remember, like watching on HBO as a kid, but I remember fucking loving it.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll High School, forever and ever.
Let's
I gotta try to find it.
We featured on the podcast.
Like I don't think it's available on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it was like save your disc because they don't know that anyone cares.
So this is one of the movies he collaborated with Steven Spielberg. Also, like this is a Spielberg joint. I mean, not directed by him, but I just mean like this is another like Spielberg. Everything he touches is gold.
This is a Goonies made by Richard Donner.
Yeah.
But Spielberg is there to lend credence. Back to the Future. Spielberg actually had to keep his name away from it because Bob Gale's the writer. Robert Zemeckis wanted his movie to succeed without having Spielberg's name attached to it. Spielberg helped him finally kind of get it done, but he wanted to know that it succeeded on its own without Spielberg's name on it. So Spielberg kept his name off of it, but Spielberg is very much the reason why Back to the Future got made.
Spielberg's pretty important to why Gremlins is successful, actually, because it was his recommendation that they take Gizmo and make him a good guy.
Yes.
As initially they were just all going to be, it was going to start cute or whatever, and then they were all going to be troublemakers. And he said, this guy's pretty cute. You should try to figure out a way to make him like your sidekick.
Now, people all remember Gizmo's a cute little thing, but really what you're remembering is Gremlins 2. Like, I think the vast majority...
As far as like Gizmo being like the hero...
Yeah, but also being like he's kind of ugly. He kind of looks like an old man.
Yeah, I was into it though because
the animatronics aren't as good as they are by the time they make Gremlins 2. But what I'm saying is, you remember him being cuter. He's not as cute as you remember, but holy shit, is he cute when he talks in this movie?
Yeah,
when he'll be like, "Bye bye."
Yeah, bright light.
Yeah, I don't remember him being like because he just kind of sits there and does nothing because again, animatronics.
Yeah, well, they said they kind of had to figure it out once. Like Spielberg was like, "You should do this." They're like, okay." And I think they did a really good job.
Yeah. But like I said, like the second one, there's a lot more motion, a lot more running around. This one, he's kind of stationary. it actually gives him a chance. Like he's reading the comic books and he has the 3D glasses, and I was like, oh my god, my heart's melting.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to know how much like I love Gizmo, my dog's name is Gizmo. Like we named her after the
Nobody's
Gremlin.
Ever named their dog Gizmo before.
Right.
You're the only one.
So it's I have and my wife too was just like, oh god, I remember how adorable he is.
Did she watch it with you?
Some of it. She was like in another room. But we love, we like Gizmo. But I told her, I'm like, you remember Gremlins 2. That's the one.
Have you seen the Jordan Peele Key and Peele skit on Gremlins 2? You should watch that.
Yes.
You'll have, okay.
And I feel it's unfair because I
know because you love it, but like these guys are just like, fuck this movie, like this is how it happened. I haven't seen Gremlins 2 yet. We have them both because I thought we would do like a Gremlins cast, I guess at some point, even though it's just the 2 movies. But I guess that's not gonna happen, so I should just watch it.
If they do a remake, we'll probably do something. We do like a discussion on.
Isn't that like it's got to be one of those things, just like Back to the Future and Jaws? That's just like no.
They talked about they were doing a Gremlins 3 not that long ago.
How have they not done another Gremlins movie anymore? They just don't want to print money, I guess.
Yeah, don't
it's
ever
gonna be bummed and be all CGI.
Yeah, you never know. Someone might really fight for that because you want to sell toys. You might want to fight for a practical thing. So one of the things I love about this movie, and whoever's idea it was when they made these, was like, put different clothes on them. We can sell a buttload of toys.
Yeah.
I mean, as I'm watching them, going, oh, each one's a little bit different. Can you imagine the fucking the marketing executive who's just like, oh god, this is gonna be so easy. Oh, it's like they're just. In Stripe, I'll give him a fucking mohawk.
Yeah.
Like, it's so... And it's stupid, but as a kid, you're like, I want to collect them all. It's like Pokemon. Like, I want every one of those toys,
Who's that artist that we follow on Instagram who does, like, the really fucking...
Woolly Goat?
Yeah. He's really into toys. And, like, I remember...
If you guys want to go to find someone on Instagram who he's in...
Hitler buttholes.
I want to say he's in Norway... or somewhere in the Netherlands.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's dirty.
It's funny. It's good,
but
though.
Also, it's really good stuff. You can buy canvas prints from him. I'm pretty sure it's Woolly Goat.
Guy really likes hip-hop, monster stuff, cartoons, and like gross scatological sexual
Okay, you're making it worse than it is. He likes to do mashups, so... Like, I'm on his thing right now. It's WOOLLY goat. Woolly
Two
goat.
L's? I thought it was only 1 L.
2 L's. So
okay.
It's WOO, like woo, not wool.
Right.
Woolly goat. He'll have a picture of, say... let me find
like
the Gremlins
MF Doom
one.
stuff, like, and he likes to put, like, Nike Air Maxes, and...
I want to actually find the... and then, of course, like, Donald Duck's dick hanging out.
I just think of, like, the girl getting fingered by E.T. That's the only...
So there's a picture of Gizmo wearing a stormtrooper's mask.
Oh, it's a stormtrooper. I thought he was wearing
with an Adidas hat on, wearing Nikes and a gold chain with ET's thing, and he's smoking a cigarette, and the smoke is in the shape of a TIE fighter.
There you go.
So he likes to do like weird mashups. I don't know what the name of this is supposed to be, and he's usually pretty funny. Like he had Chef versus Chef. It was Chef Raekwon versus the Swedish chef from Sesame.
He has a whole series of the smoking marijuana or cigarette or whatever, and the smoke being like kind of the evil version of like it's like a Krusty the Clown doing it, and then it's it's Pennywise is the clown. Anyway, I brought it up because he's really into toys, and every once in a while he'll throw up on Instagram like, "Ooh, I found this," or "I'm really looking for this," and he's so excited that he found the Flasher Gremlin from Gremlins. That was my first thought because like I thought maybe that was from the second movie because I know the second movie goes just fucking hog wild
with
all the different but like this movie goes hog wild. I forgot how many the scenes later when
speaking of the Flasher, I laughed so hard when that came on because I remember there being a trench coat wear in the second one, and I think what you see in that one is from the back. He opens up his trench coat. This one, you see it from the front.
Right.
I was not ready for that. Yeah, this is a weird, like, dark, somewhat adult. Like, this is too scary for kids, but it's not a movie for, like, adults because it's kind of silly.
I think it's a gateway horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like this.
But like you said, a kid's not going to understand what the Flasher's doing.
Who cares? That's part of the fun. Like,
right, but an adult would. So it's a weird mixture of like kind of dirty but kind of funny.
I just mean, there's all these different kinds of children that get into horror, and like sometimes some people, it's like, oh, fuck this gateway shit, and then they're like, no, my first movie was Friday the 13th or something like that. But there's also like this whole like, oh yeah, you can watch this because there's no nudity, there's no real swearing. There's no real like the violence is very. The worst violence in the movie is against the Gremlins. Actually,
there was an F-bomb in either Krampus or this. I can't remember which one it was. There was definitely I heard an F-word.
PG-13, or if it's PG-13, they can throw one in there. So it's probably in Krampus, I would imagine.
Anyways,
so Gremlins is like, I'm not going to recount fucking Gremlins. Like if you don't know,
well, let me like there's parts about Gremlins I want to talk about. The beginning.
Yeah,
and there's some of these things actually show up in Santa's Sleigh, because Santa's Sleigh is kind of the guy who wrote and directed Santa's Sleigh, which is the only movies he wrote or directed. Because
by the way, there's going to be two directors in this that are the former like assistant directors to currently accused sexual predators.
Well, who's not connected to 6 degrees of sexual predators?
Well, Joe Dante I think has made it out okay. So did Bob Clark, and so did what's the other movie they were doing? I forgot. Oh, Silent Night Deadline. I don't even know who made it. I got nothing behind that.
So anyways.
Anyway, sorry.
What was I even saying? Oh, so yeah, the
beginning.
The main character, his name is it Billy?
I can't remember.
Billy's in the other one too. But anyways, his dad is like an inventor.
Yeah.
He makes terrible gadgets that don't work and are silly and fun.
Think of dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes.
Or, you know.
But one of the things he's going, I love the opening. So it's Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, it's not because Big Trouble in Little China came out in '84, right?
In the '80s, I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. So the Gremlins is 1984. I am going to talk like this because I'm stalling, and I want to find out that Big Trouble in Little China was 1986. So it wasn't even done yet. But when you watch the first scene in Gremlins, John Carpenter must have watched that scene, because I know John Carpenter.
Well, here,
let's shut your mouth. I know John Carpenter likes kung fu movies. I knew he was a fan.
Yeah, did he tell you?
I had a conversation with him, and he was like, "I really love Asian cinema." No, I mean anyone who knows Carpenter, especially with Big Trouble in China, but just in general, he likes Asian cinema. So when he makes a movie with like Asian actors and like Asian culture, it's legitimately like the movies he watched. He's not just making like let's appeal to the Chinese market. Like everyone does nowadays, you just throw in a Chinese actor and you get co-financing from China, and you release a movie over there with 10 minutes extra footage of the Chinese actor that doesn't make it to an American version of the film. Like Transformers has that, I think, and Pacific Rim might have had that too. I don't know. Anyway, movies nowadays are being tailored to China because they can make more money there. But the beginning of this movie is what John Carpenter did with Big Trouble in Little China. He goes to Chinatown, and it feels so authentic in a fake way. Meaning it's not mean.
Right. Well, okay. So it's interesting you say that, because...
but if you've ever watched... I'm not saying this is like real Chinese culture, real Chinatown. It's like, if you've ever watched a Chinese movie, this is the kind of thing you would see in one of their movies.
Right.
You would see like the old Asian guy with the long beard.
It's being influenced more by Asian cinema than it is actually by actual Asian culture.
Yes. But what's also cool about it is that...
American Asian culture.
Exactly. It's American Asian, because these actors speak Cantonese and English solidly. Mm-hmm. There's not like terrible accents or anything like that. Nowadays, you get some actor that's Chinese that speaks Cantonese only, and you teach them English, and then they do English in the movie, and it sounds terrible because they're not very good at English. Half the time they dub them over. It's bad. Don't get me ranting on Chinese Asian cinema right now. But anyways, the beginning of this movie feels so cool because it's what I love about Big Trouble in Little China and stuff like that. It's like this little slice of non-American culture you wouldn't see in a movie. Mm-hmm. And normally it would be like just some stupid throwaway, like making fun of the Chinese or something very hyperbole, which this is, but it's not when you actually watch Asian cinema and you go, this is really cool, because they're actually throwing nods to other stuff that they've seen. I don't know. I love the beginning of this movie.
It's a little bit racist. That's okay.
And I wrote that. It seems racist or profile-y, but it's actually kind of a cool cultural homage.
Let's get all this out of the way so we can actually like suck Gremlin's dick, you know. So it's interesting you bring that up. I haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China, and I might as well not have seen it. It's been so long since I've watched it.
Let's just say this. My 5-year-old, he likes Big Trouble in Little China a lot.
Bob Chipman loves that movie and loves John Carpenter. But I was watching a little bit of he was talking about Big Trouble in Little China. According to him, Big Trouble in Little China is one big subversion of all of the racist Asian characters that were going on in 80s films at the time. And that's what I thought of watching this. I'm like, this is a perfect example of what he's talking about. That, like, every old man in China has like mystic knowledge and, you know, fucking little mystic creatures and stuff like that.
See, but what I love about why it doesn't become racist, one, just based on what I already said, and sorry if I got really loud because I just was really excited, by the end of the movie, he's basically, it comes to be stupid white person doesn't respect nature.
So
you know
that's true. That's like the text of the movie. But like once I started like kind of keying in on it, now you tell me. Because I started watching this and started trying to. It's in 1984, right?
Yeah, and like Drunken Master is like 1974, I think.
Okay.
And you look at a lot of the characters that they're modeled after. Mm-hmm. If you go back and watch really early Jackie Chan type stuff, which is what my guess is at this time in history, the only kind of Asian cinema you're going to see besides exploitation shit is probably the few bigger name movies. You didn't have the DVD market back then. You could get random Asian films.
Right.
So you're probably going to copy literally what you've seen, and the only thing you probably have seen is like a Drunken Master kind of thing. Drunken Master was 1978.
Okay.
So, it's probably still on the minds of some people.
No, absolutely. I don't doubt that.
So if you go watch that, you kind of see what the master or the like instructor looks like in that movie.
Right.
There's definitely that kind of influence. It's not like some American said, hey, I want to make some Asian thing, but I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like, well, what do you know? Well, I saw these movies.
Okay, I have a perspective. I've got a take. I got a hot take on this movie.
How hot's this take?
And I'm curious if you think I'm crazy or not. But I think it maybe is there. So the text is there, obviously, like just the overt text, like you said, like, oh yeah, the white American comes in and says like, no, I'll pay you. How much money? Like everybody's got a price, and then like, and then what's first thing is like, we can sell these, and even though he's a super sweet guy, none of this ever comes off like.
Right? No,
like
he's
horrible. There's just like the dumb American that doesn't know what he's doing, and then the elder wise Chinese man needs to come and fix it all.
And then at the middle, there's the kid who's, and this is one of the things that I really like to want to see in cultural things and like stuff in America with like Fresh Off the Boat. I don't really watch that show. I think it kind of misses some of the mark, but the kid. His grandpa is the one who owns the shop. Uh-huh. This kid is someone who grew up in Chinatown.
He's got the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, he speaks Cantonese. He speaks perfect English too because he's grown up in America. Mm-hmm. He's that middle ground of like, I respect my culture and this stuff, but at the same time he's like, I'll sell you this,
right? Because
we need the money, right? I'm always interested in that generation, the one that is like second and third. Because they still have a good connection to where they came from, but they're assimilating, but they're not getting rid of their culture. I think that's where the fun blending.
The Joy Luck Club.
I don't know.
You ever watched that or read that?
No.
It's women, right? So who cares? Like you want to.
Why?
You should probably.
Okay.
I'm just like, no, I just mean like you're so interested in this stuff, but it's all very much from like.
But I'm interested in it because it's Chinese culture, which is what I like.
You should read the Joy Luck Club.
Anyways,
everybody makes you read that when you're a kid. Okay, it's just exactly what you're fucking talking about. It's just more from the female perspective.
But I like that blending of like. Not rejecting where you came from, kind of taking it with you, but then taking all the new stuff with you as well and kind of making a mixture of it. Because it's like, respect your culture, but don't get so hokey where it's like, that's the only thing I do. It's like, I like to have a little bit of this. So I like that character. It reminds me of Indiana Jones.
You can't, it's surprising it doesn't end up being, Short Round, right? Like, especially with Spielberg's involvement and everything.
Right, well, that's the Indiana Jones character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's that actor's name?
I kind of know what it was, but I don't know. It's Key...
It's Data. What's his name in Goonies? Not Data. What's his name? Data?
Data, yeah.
I'm not the Goonies person. You are. So.
Just Star Trek came up in my mind for a second.
For me, to you, he's Data. To me, he's Short Round. That's how that works. Anyway, so yes.
Get to your point.
I'm trying to.
I don't even want to talk about Gremlins. I just want to talk about Asian movies.
I know. That's all you want to do. But at the same time, so yes, all that. But at the same time, so there's the guy, right? The guy who's like, buy American. Oh, don't buy this German crap. Like that guy, right?
And that's the racist guy.
Well, okay. So fine. Okay. I feel like there's somewhat of an undercurrent. In 1984, I don't know what's going on in America. I don't know like what people are thinking or feeling or whatever. I was born in 1984, so I could hardly say that. But you have your father who's the old-fashioned, hard-working American.
Yeah.
You pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You can get anything done in the States as long as you have the gumption and door-to-door sales and you invent something, the whole thing.
It's very reminiscent of Edward Scissorhands, Suburbia, Tim Burton kind of feel this, you know what I mean? Like they shot that on the Universal backlot, I want to say, because there's a street in there. Is it this movie? I think it's this movie. That's the bank that Marty drives the time machine or drives the DeLorean down the street. Like that's the movie theater in the back, the Porno Theater,
right?
Which is different in this, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same area. So a lot of when he's walking around town, it feels like a fake movie.
Yeah,
but in a fun way. Yeah. Like it feels like it's all one big backdrop. It feels fake.
Sure,
but I love that.
But what I'm getting at is that this movie has economic anxiety.
Yeah. Well, from how many? Yes. Yeah.
Like it totally does, and it's not. Now most of that, a lot of it is not subtext. Most of it is more like trying to be. It's a Wonderful Life, right?
I was gonna say, but like who's the bad guy in your mind? Are you saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like the text of the movie, the overt text, is like, oh, the bank, right?
Yes.
Like the evil bank lady. But I kind of like, he goes to the convention and then it's like robots and stuff like it everywhere. I just kind of get a little bit of the vibe. It's like, well, Chinese maybe are making everything now and all the jobs are going over there. And I've seen maybe there was a little bit of subtext to that going on.
Well, the Gremlins, as the racist white guy would say, like there's gremlins in your machine.
Right.
He was talking about machines being made in Germany.
Yeah, but then he's also talking about like his television. He's yelling at his television at one point and says that they, I mean, it's foreign stuff in general, but I mean, it also goes to... I don't know. Like I said, it could just be me, but I was kind of keying into that a little bit. There was I should have taken notes and I didn't.
It's definitely there,
but I don't think it's at all. It might not even be conscious,
right?
But I think that it's. You have these things that come from China, they come over here, and they run havoc on all of our technology. Like they.
You mean nowadays?
No, I mean in the movie. That's literally what happens. They're fucking with the traffic lights. They're fucking with this. They're fucking with that. Like it's and then the guy tells you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's
And it's like, because where are you getting all of your stuff, all of your electronics at this point by 1984?
Are they though?
I don't know. I just think
that's
like,
what
everything
I was
gets made
say,
in China.
Chinese manufacturing.
I'm just saying the idea that everything gets made in China would have.
No. At this point in time, things are made in Japan, and things are awesome from Japan.
Okay, well, do you want to just be racist enough to just say like, Japan, China, same thing?
No.
Okay.
Okay, in the real world, I mean, things are different in 2017 because manufacturing has just changed worldwide in general. Think about this line from Back to the Future 3. Doc finds the old DeLorean in the mine shaft, and he doesn't. This is 1955. This is the other Doc who has to figure out how to rebuild the time machine based off the other Docs who leaves him schematics. He goes, "There's your problem." Because he picks up an integrated circuit. He's got a big magnifying glass. He goes, "Well, there's your problem." It says "Made in Japan." Right. And Marty goes, "What are you talking about, Doc? All the best stuff is made in Japan."
Yeah.
That's 1990.
No, I know that there's a current of anti-Japanese business.
See, and there's a difference there.
Through the 80s. I just was curious if there was any of that.
So you're talking about
towards China.
Foreign electronics.
Yes, basically.
But the Japanese electronics were very well respected.
Right.
Then you hit the 2000s, and now Chinese equipment starts to come over, and that gets the stigma of like, Chinese stuff is crap.
Right.
If you go buy a power supply for a computer nowadays, you'll actually see one of the...
So you're making my point then, that the stuff that comes from China is bad.
But this not in 1984, we weren't getting stuff from China.
Okay, so that's what I was asking, because I don't have any historical
You were getting stuff from overseas, but it was high quality. It's just that like the white blue-collar worker didn't like the idea that jobs or manufacturing was leaving the country.
Right.
But it wasn't bad. It was actually well-made stuff. If you go buy a power supply for a computer nowadays, one of the selling points on the box or online, it'll say like Japanese gold-plated 12 capacitors.
Yeah.
If you want capacitors, you want Japanese capacitors, black capacitors. Those are a sought-after thing. When I bought CDRs back in the day, and you get CDs that burn, they suck after a couple of weeks, they're skipping and stuff like that. I bought tie-ins or Taios, like you had to buy them from Japan, and they were high fucking quality, and they were. But the stuff you get from China would be garbage, right? At this time in 1984,
at this point, it wouldn't have been there.
They would not have been that far.
Okay, well,
but the foreign sentiment of stuff coming over is there, but it wasn't bad yet.
I just wonder if I don't know that any of it's intentional, but I'm just saying.
There's a history lesson for everybody.
Yeah, sure. Well, I just like people. I'm trying to think of a new way to talk about Gremlins because people have heard fucking talked about Gremlins like 10 million hours already.
You are right though, because there is a subtext
I just
of like
think there's something.
The Chinese man brings the Mogwai. The Mogwai makes the Gremlins destroy everything.
I just mean like it could have just been a movie without like people are losing their jobs and all this kind of stuff. But there's like all this weird economic anxiety undercurrent, and then with that and then the weird thing with Phoebe Cates and like my dad, like the awful fucking Christmas Story. And that plus just like, I don't know. There's just like all these little things that are going to come together. I don't know what somebody that's smarter than me can figure it out. Or maybe none of it means anything. But like I feel like there's something going on.
I hope people are listening to this or like I think we're both getting really loud.
Yeah.
Like we're both like
animated,
raising the volume of our voices. So I apologize for that. But
all right, I got that out of the way now.
You are absolutely right. There's a ton of that in Gremlins. I don't know that it's on purpose.
Yeah.
It could be seen one way, but knowing the time difference, the year that it is, some of that stuff isn't quite what it would be now.
Right. Okay.
With all that said.
That being said, Gremlins is amazing.
There's a white guy in there that's very racist and hates all foreign stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at one point, the foreign guy tells the American, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Let us handle it.
Right.
So there is some in there, but it's not racist. It's just some fun race play, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. I like how the dad invented the Swiss Army knife.
Just
Without a
times, like just 10 times too big.
It's the same thing as a Swiss Army knife. Anyways, okay. Here's the basics. Gremlins.
The bathroom buddy.
Light kills him. You can't get him wet, or he multiplies. And if you feed him after midnight, they turn into the Gremlins. Yeah. There you go. There's a matte painting of the city in the beginning. It. Oh, so good.
This is so fun. This is the kind of thing I guess I'm still technically a millennial, but like whatever. I just look at the subsequent generation and go, fuck you. If you get this is the thing they're gonna look at and then like I hope they don't make fun of this is one of the things that I know that I'm a certain age because I look at that every time I go back and I see an old movie and I see a good matte painting, it's like Pavlovian.
But it's also because like they do such a good job with perspective.
Yeah.
They do.
It also adds like a certain quality to it.
It's like the sidewalk chalk artist guys that will draw a hole on the ground and it looks like a 3D. You know, like that's. It's very impressive. It's not just a painting. It's a skilled painting.
But there's also an artifice. There's an artifice to it that I appreciate. It's like when you go to a play and it's like it's not trying to look like reality, but a good set. Like you go to a play. Like I've seen plays that have amazing sets. They're not trying to look like, oh shit, where am I? Am I even in a theater anymore? No, it's just very well done and well designed.
You want to know where really good matte paintings, and they're not of like cities or backgrounds, but you want to know like a good background, the painting and lighting is.
What?
Watch any Shaw Brothers movie.
Sure.
And they have like the little village where they have a little bit of dirt and a bridge and a building, and then everything behind that is just a painted wall. But you forget immediately. It just feels like this.
For those movies, I appreciate the not even that, but just like the actual like right up there, right like that the actual sets.
Yeah,
like where the fight scenes take place that are like very clearly fake, and I appreciate. But I almost prefer that. I'm glad these movies never shot like on location.
Right.
I'm glad that they're more vibrant and they add color and they add a design aesthetic to it.
Because they give the background and like you want it sunset, you can have sunset 24 hours a day.
Right,
Let me paint the sunset for you. You know.
Are you just kind of listing out things you like about it? Because I have some things.
Let's just there's a part right in the beginning. I had to call my wife back in the room. I was like, check this shit out. They have a snowball fight. There's a girl sitting on a bench, and this boy just comes up and fucking decks her in the back of the head with a snowball. Not like, ha ha. It was like, I broke your skull.
Kids are out here rough these days.
It was like, I saw him, was like, what? I had to rewind it. It was rough.
You know why he did it? Economic anxiety.
Yeah. He had to show his.
There's a little bit anti-cat sentiment in this movie. I don't appreciate that as a cat owner.
Fuck cats. Disney attraction, the town set, yeah. Jerry Goldsmith is scored this movie.
Dun, 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 dun. It's something you can
Let me just ask you a question.
What?
How many movies do you think Jerry Goldsmith has scored?
A lot.
Just throw a number out there.
I don't know. That his name is on the movie.
I had to look it up and go, like, I know he's composed a lot of stuff. Like, what? I'm curious.
I'm going to say less than 100, but more than 50.
You're not even close.
Hundreds?
247 movies to his credit.
God.
As like the sound.
Good on him.
Yeah, that is insane. His the number of years his career spans is amazing. Anyways, I mean, you do like 3 or 4 a year over 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, like it's hard watching Judge Reinhold be like a douchey, mean guy. Because you watch Beverly Hills Cop, everyone loves Judge Reinhold, and here he's like, I would have fired you. He's the young guy.
Oh yeah.
Don't make me tell you who Judge Reinhold is.
Sorry.
He is just kind of a jerk, but at the same time, he's like friends with the kid.
Well, he's from Fast Time. Him and Phoebe Cates are both from Fast Time from Ridgemont High too.
Yes.
Which I don't know him from like a lot of movies. I don't watch like a lot of 80s movies, but like these are the two. That
Yes, Fast Time Ridgemont High is obviously the big, but like Beverly Hills Cop is more like.
Oh right, Beverly Hills Cop. I just watched that. Right.
He's a grown up role. You know what I mean? It's different.
It's funny he has different roles. So
they had the shootout in the mansion. He's like, that was fucking cool, huh?
Yeah. You know they were going to remake 48 Hours.
I'm not a fan. I don't care about 48 Hours.
Really?
I haven't actually watched it in a really, really long time. But Beverly Hills Cop.
Each their own.
Yeah, but it's hard because he kind of plays a jerk, and I'm like, I like Judge. No, don't do that. Oh, he's also in. No, he's not.
What happens to him like in the second half of the movie? I can't remember him getting like messed with by gremlins.
I don't either. Just
like obviously the bank lady gets hers.
Yeah, it's also weird because like you talk about like being a dark like murder. Death. Well, once she gets launched out the fucking window, that's when it's like, no, this shit is real. They cut the brake lines to the police. Like, this is real.
So you know who one of those cops is, right?
Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah.
My wife didn't believe me. She's like, no, it's not. She's like, oh my God, it is.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I like Gremlins a lot, actually. It's weird. You know, it's a perfect movie.
It's pretty damn good. I love the scene with. I mean, you love all the things everybody else loves about it. They love like the nostalgic like. I want to have a room like that where you hang out with your 3D glasses.
Why is this 18? I'm assuming it's like 18. Corey Feldman's a child.
Yeah.
Why are they friends?
I don't know.
Why does he hang out in his bed and read his comic books? He's way older than him.
He's like a neighbor.
I guess it's kind of weird. Nowadays it'd be weird.
Nowadays it'd be weird because everything's ruined.
And that was one of the times Corey Feldman was being raped. I don't know.
Jesus. He's gonna let everybody know about it eventually after enough people give him money.
Yeah, he only needs $10 million to tell you who raped him.
I love these.
No, what I was saying was like I love the pre-CGI, like the animatronics of it.
That stuff is
that's
great.
what I like the most about it.
And even the stuff that's like tricky, where they're just like picking up clearly like something that they're moving, manipulating with their hands to make it look like he's moving. All that stuff is fun. Back when movies used to be, you had to think about it, not just like, we're just gonna put it in a computer.
Yeah. Sesame Street? Do I know how to get to Sesame Street?
Wait, is that that's not what it is? Do you know the way to Sesame Street? What's the fucking song?
How do I not? Okay, you're confused. I should know this. I went to watch it.
I didn't even watch it when I was a kid. I have no idea.
He plays a new way, and we. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Okay, that's how it goes. I had to like, in mind. When they do the puppets. Is it two people? Because you could do that mouth with one hand, but then they do two hand stuff. And before it used to be a stick holding the hand, right? You'd see the little sticks. Now it's like there's a thing in there and they manipulate and they grab stuff. That must mean it's two people manipulating the same
they might
creature.
Just be like right below the camera.
That's crazy difficult now that I think about it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, the Gremlins made me think about Sesame Street a little bit, like controlling multiple parts of one without using animatronics sometimes and just using like actual puppetry, you know?
Yeah. It's a whole artistry that's just... I mean, it's still around, I guess. There's still people.
It's just barely used anymore.
But it drives me nuts because it has its places. Like, why would you make a movie like it? Can't. It's cheap. It's got to be more expensive to do the whole thing in a computer.
I think it saves time because it
saves time, and I know it makes everything easier. But
because it does cost more in post. But the problem is you're less likely to fuck it up.
Right.
You know. I think some of the things I've seen is you would still have someone like do the makeup and effects and create like the monster, and then the CGI artist will take that and then enhance it and change it.
Well, that's what they do like in that's what Ridley Scott does, right? So if you see the behind the scenes stuff in Covenant, they could have just used
the guy in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked amazing. And it's really well designed and sculpted and everything like that, but they just do that so everybody can get a good performance and know exactly where they're going to have the monster and then go do it in post.
Are we ever? We're not even going to talk about Gremlins, really. We're just going to talk about things.
I love the scene where the mom takes out all the Gremlins first because I appreciated the joke that it was like, they didn't know who they're fucking with. It's her kitchen. Like it was just kind of a funny commentary, like I'm the stay-at-home mom kind of thing.
And it's not even like, I mean, she blends one up. She puts one in the microwave.
That's the most violent stuff in the movie is just everything she does to them.
Because she doesn't wimp out and run away, and she doesn't like, I hit it with a book. Like she's like shoves it in the microwave, turns the microwave on, and goes, "You're gonna melt."
Do more stuff in the snow. It's always good.
I figured you liked all the comic books. Like there's tons of comic books.
There's a lot of fun comic book stuff in there. I love all the bad Gremlins together. Just a long extended sequence of them in the bar.
And the fact that she's serving them drinks.
It's great.
That's what I meant by I think that one scene was so long because it was here's how we sell the toys.
Yeah.
We have to show you all the different versions we've made and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I have no idea how much work that all took, but it was worth it. It's such a wonderful scene, smorgasbord of pleasures.
They even have one wearing a ski mask.
Yeah.
And tries to shoot her.
There's that towards the end. Yeah. And they're just like playing all these fun things. They're playing poker and
I think I have a list of
cross-dressing.
Also, we were talking about Ridley Scott. Those eggs remind me of Alien.
Yeah.
They have to be influenced by Alien.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Gremlins is amazing.
Also, we talk about being dark again. That lady is like, if I got your dog, he would die a slow death.
Yeah.
Oh, like, whoa, lady.
She's doing the Wicked Witch of you're a little dog, too.
Yeah, but not even like, I want your dog gone. It's like, I would murder it, and I would make it have pain. Like, that's not funny at all. It's not even...
String him up by Christmas lights. Like,
yeah. Let me see.
Dead air.
Okay, there's a noir gremlin.
Yeah.
There's the gremlins playing poker. One of them is dressed like a lady.
Yep.
Wearing lady makeup.
I mean, I guess none of them have a gender.
There's an aerobics breakdancing gremlin.
They did the not Footloose. What is that? That's Flashdance. Flashdance.
Phoebe her dad, the story about like why she doesn't like Christmas. This is one of the things I don't remember. Her dad went missing on Christmas Eve. They looked for him. 5 days later, they smelled him. He had died going down the chimney and got stuck. Yeah. That's dark.
It's dark.
This is such a weird movie. It's so dark at times, but it's also so fun, you know? Gizmo's driving the convertible toy, the car toy. It's amazing, cute. I guess sunlight saves the day? Is that what they open?
Isn't shooting holes in the... It's like an atrium,
like the sun had come up at that point, right? The scene when they go to the pool and he jumps in the water, that's just watching him jump in cannonball.
Cannonball, yeah. And just all the smoke machines and
but also the lights, the water's green and red.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
At the very end when he leaves, when the Chinese guy takes him back and he goes, say your goodbyes, and then Gizmo goes, bye, Billy.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, Gremlins is really good. I mean, everyone already knows that, but I forgot.
So I get a little bit like, I just saw Last Jedi last night, right? And all anybody wants to talk about is porgs, like these little, I don't know.
Oh, is that what that's from? I keep seeing porgs on Twitter, and I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's just a cute little, and half the people are like, squee, porg, and then half the people are like, crass commercial, whatever. I'm like, how many of you fucking people love Gremlins, okay? Like, how many of you, like, fucking hypocrites? Like, yes, we all think they're cute, and yes, it's all designed to sell toys. So, like, just get over it and just, it's cute and leave it. It's what it is.
All right, let's move forward to another movie. And maybe a break in between. I don't really know. I don't know how this works. All right, moving on to a much, much darker and not in a fun... Well, if you laugh at this movie...
Yeah.
You can, but it's
weird.
Just not the kind of laughter I'd be like, there's something wrong with you.
It depends on what you're laughing at, I guess.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, also 1984. Charles Sellier? I don't know. He only has 4 movies to his name, and he's directing, and none of them are like things that I recognize. He was mainly a producer.
Yeah.
On a lot of movies.
All right.
So
I watched a fair amount of special features for this one. I bought the Shout Factory disc, and they had a couple documentaries in there. I watched those. I
didn't have enough time to get to them all.
So most of what people think of when they think of this movie is it caused a big hubbub.
This is basically Dogma for 1984.
I guess so. I don't even remember Dogma, but yeah, people standing out in front of, people standing outside with signs and stuff like that. But to be fair, okay, well,
there's a reason why.
There's a war on Christmas. They showed apparently they had a TV spot for this, and they showed it like just during football, like
Sunday football,
like a Sunday football game, like the
football. Yeah,
and there wasn't.
Oh, god damn it, Gremlins! They go to his teacher.
Yeah,
I forgot the part, and they have the teacher, and the teacher, like the high school teacher, does science experiments till 2:00 in the morning at a high school. That's not real.
Yeah, but that's a trope.
Also,
that's such a trope.
He got he just got put to sleep, right? Did he get murdered?
He's like one of the only sort of they stuck a syringe in his butt.
Yeah, but
whatever that means.
I didn't get to say chemistry. Like the chemistry, like Christmas tree
teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the other puns.
So anyway, whatever. I don't even have all the details.
Wait, is Silent Night Deadly? No.
People were really upset about this.
Well, because what you told me about, like what the commercial played during football on a Sunday.
It didn't matter because like all they did was just show Santa with an axe, and there wasn't even a context for it. Not that would have mattered, but it wasn't like this is the story of a young deranged child who goes to this thing, and it's just like. It wasn't even a serial axe murderer who's wearing a Santa outfit.
Let's just sit down. Okay. You're sitting down with your pa.
Yeah.
It's Sunday and you're watching football and a commercial comes on. What does the child see?
They see a Santa Claus with an axe.
And what is he doing?
Killing people with axes. I mean, not killing anybody because it's a TV spot, but like heavily implied murder by Santa Claus. Again, not a guy wearing a Santa outfit, just Santa Claus is killing people. And so this is like, oh, I've just finally gotten my kid to not be scared of Santa or whatever. And like they're never gonna, they're never gonna go to sleep now because I think Santa's gonna kill him. Assault on Christmas, whatever. I did also quickly on YouTube before I came over here saw Siskel and Ebert are famously anti-horror. I
think Siskel gave Ace Ventura 2 thumbs up.
There you go.
One time.
These guys,
because they're usually anti-comedy too.
Obviously, Siskel and Ebert were big in the '80s, and what else was big in the '80s was the birth and proliferation of the slasher film.
Yeah,
and they hated it. Like they didn't like Friday the 13th. Like maybe eventually they turned around or something like that. But I do know that like by and large, as a rule, Siskel and Ebert were not into horror movies. So I did find they do have somebody threw up a clip on YouTube of I forgot what the show is called, like At the Movies, I think was their thing.
Yeah,
and it's Siskel talking about, not Ebert. And it was really funny because obviously they hated it. They thought it was deplorable and all this kind of stuff. And they're ashamed. They say stuff like, shame on you. But then they shamed the creators. They went specifically out of their way to say, and I like as if they were like outing a sexual predator or something like that. They started, and just because I don't want these people to, oh, shame on you, here are their names. Just like, because they think
here's their home address.
Just because they think that they can make this movie. I'm glad you made a buck, but it was blood money. And you
wow.
and seriously, and because they think that they can just make a movie like this and then just buy their BMW and drive off to their house in Bel Air. And I'm like, you know that this is like a small fucking horror movie, right? Like, I'm sure it did okay, but nobody like fucking like got rich off of Silent Night, Deadly Night, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty funny. So Silent Night, Deadly Night, I don't remember most of what the person that seemed like was the most like open and wanted to talk about it on the documentary was the writer.
It was originally just called Santa. He sees you when you're sleeping.
Yeah,
not Santa. It was a screenplay called He Sees You When You're Sleeping.
Sure. Yeah. And this guy was like not like, it wasn't a genre guy. He didn't like horror movies. He didn't, but he thought like, oh, it can't be that too difficult. Ended up taking the job and said to himself, okay, I'll do this. I'll figure out. It's not like it's hard to write a slasher movie. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a movie about how you get to be a killer Santa. So in other words, it was like, writer, write me a killer Santa movie. He's like, okay, but I want to write a movie that's about like, how do you get to be a killer Santa?
It's the gritty origin story.
It's the gritty origin story. Yeah. It's the prequel. It's like, so it's this real fucking weird movie where the first half, or actually most of the movie, you empathize with this kid, and we'll talk about that. And then it just completely switches gears and turns into schlocky, total exploitative slasher film.
I would say the first 10 minutes are actually the most.
The whole movie is exploitative. The whole movie is exploitative. Really,
but there is
his mom's tits got to come hanging out, like,
there is motivation in the second half of the movie. The first 10 to 15 minutes are you're just mean. Mean movie, bad. You're mean, like.
But how awesome is that grandpa though?
Yeah,
he better run, boy. You better run for your life.
He looks like he reminds me of another actor with I don't know who it is.
Okay, so for those in the audience,
wait. I want to read the text that I sent to you, because I thought it was really funny what I got back from you. It's not interlude music. Okay. So I said, Silent Night, Deadly Night, that's some horrible ass shit, all right. And you just said, yeah, it's because your autocorrect didn't work. So you sent me a message that said, yeah, it's a mean little shut of a movie. And I went, slut or shit? And you're like, oh shit. I go, I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
If it was a slut, it'd be a very promiscuous, it's just using you.
Yeah, but then again...
But it's also a mean little shit.
Well, here's the thing. Most exploitation movies are... It's just in the slasher genre. You have your Jason Voorhees, you have your Michael Myers. Like they're these.
They're monsters.
You're right, but the point would be to just like, oh, the characters, like you hate the characters, and like part of you almost like inhabits the killer, where you're just like, oh, he's gonna take them out.
Yeah.
But that's, you identify with them in a cathartic way, where you're like, oh, take these people out. But then you're also scared of them because you're like, oh, scary monster is gonna get me.
Well, kill the teenagers. They're dumb. I don't care.
But this movie's fucking weird because you empathize. So the back half of the movie turns into the Friday the 13th thing.
Right, but I'm telling you, like, you don't have to empathize, but there's motive. You understand why. There's motivation.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if there's motivation because the second half plays out like just a sleazy exploitation film.
But let's get the first.
Let's watch the movie because I don't know if a lot of people have seen this.
The first
maybe, I don't know.
2 minutes, like a minute 53. And this is a very much sign of the times. It's just white title cards and a black background.
Yeah.
There's no movie for 2 minutes. It's just like names.
Yeah, I think it's just actually fast forward.
Yeah, but it's amazing that like you would never see that anymore. You know what I mean? It's impossible to see that in a movie. Okay. Whew, I didn't even take any oh no. Okay, that is right. Sorry. The people, they're driving a family, they're going to go visit grandpa. And when they get there, the camera has a long wide shot of a building, the car drives over, and right in the middle of the frame is a big sign that says, Utah mental facility.
Yeah.
And then after the car drives by, the camera proceeds to zoom in on the sign as if you didn't see it.
Right.
And then tells you it's the Utah mental facility. Like, if you didn't notice it, I'm going to let this camera sit here for 10 more seconds pointing at the sign.
Right.
I thought that was really funny and bad. Grandpa is like, what, catatonic?
Yeah, he's just sitting in a chair and has never said or moved, doesn't say anything or move. It hasn't for a long time.
Which is, okay, there's two funny things that happen here then. The parents go out of the room because they're like, the doctor wants to talk to you about some stuff with him. And, hey, Johnny, or Billy. Yeah. Well, no, is his name Billy?
I think they would be both be Billies.
Because in Christmas...
Black Christmas, they're both, yeah, I think they're actually both Billies.
I really have to figure this out.
I think I made that connection already, and that's like a thing.
Well, I said that in Gremlins because I'm pretty sure his name was Billy in Gremlins.
It's definitely Billy in Black Christmas for sure.
Yes, which is, well, one of the personas, I guess you could say. His name is Billy. Billy. Yeah. It's Billy.
It's Billy.
Okay, so they're like, Billy, you stay here with Grandpa. He was like, I don't want to. It's like, oh, he doesn't do anything. He just sits in a chair. Just sit here for a minute, right? The second that the parents and the doctor walk out, the grandpa, coy, looks over at the kid at the door. You're like, wait a minute, he's moving. And he's not just like looking around the room like, oh, maybe he's responding with his eyes. He's deliberately like, all right, they're gone. Let me drop my act. What? Because it can be taken one of two ways. One, he had his, like, he came out of it for a minute to be crazy and then went back into it. Or two, he's fucking faking that he's catatonic all the time. What the hell is that? What weird shit is that?
That's what makes it all scarier, man.
It's really, really weird that he's faking that he doesn't respond to anything.
I think that's what gives it such an impact. I don't know. I guess I enjoyed, like...
His name is Billy in Gremlins.
Yeah. It's a lot of Billies.
There's 3 Billies, and we should have called this the Billy podcast.
The Billy cast.
Anyways, it's amazing what that old man does.
It's probably the best part of the movie. Not to say like the rest of the movie shit or anything like that, but it's like it's one of the, if you're gonna like, oh, it's a cult classic or something, it's probably definitely one of the more memorable. Like if you were gonna put something in a T-shirt, you might just put the grandpa and just be like, "Run for your life, boy!"
Basically, he scares the shit out of the kids, saying Santa's gonna, if he's been naughty at all, he's gonna punish him, and then of course, no one believes the kid that he said anything. Or that maybe he did, but he's back to being catatonic.
Right. Doesn't matter because now it's getting late and we're going to drive home or drive to wherever.
Which I'm like, okay, they drove like hours out of the way to go visit Grandpa for 10 minutes and then drive hours back home.
I figured maybe they weren't like visiting other family. It doesn't matter.
They were driving for many hours. Sure. To visit for someone for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't even respond.
That's what it was good enough for a Night of the Living Dead. It's good enough for a Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah. Cut to a guy in a Santa outfit robbing a liquor store.
And then killing the fuck out of the sales clerk. I mean, this is where your old meanness streak begins.
But the clerk did reach for a gun, so he shot him. And the clerk tried to shoot him when laying on the ground with a gunshot in him, so he shot him again.
Oh, okay. To be fair to the...
And then he shot him a third time for no reason right in the head. That was a little different. Yeah, I remember...
Did you actually say he's in a Santa suit? Because that's important.
Yeah, the guy wearing a Santa Claus outfit, and it's like he gets $34. And he's like, oh, shit. No remorse. Drives off. And then we go back to the family. They're driving, and they see a car broke down on the side of the road. And there's Santa Claus going, hey, it's me.
Yeah.
I need a ride. That's when it gets really dark. And take it away, Ryan.
What? I mean, I'm not explaining explicit detail. He shoots they try to back away once they realize that this is not... It's not Santa Claus. But it's important, though, before we say that, though, like, it's important because after having the encounter with his grandfather... Billy, a little kid, is in the backseat of his car just the whole time, just like kind of freaking out a little bit, and he's like asking his parents, just like,
I don't want to see Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa Claus is going to punish me. Grandpa said he's going to punish me, so he's kind of getting freaked out on Santa. And then, anyway, so they're backing away. Bad Santa shoots the dad. The car kind of runs off the road a little bit or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember like the forensic detail. The fucking guy.
The mom tries to get out, and the Santa drags her into the street, rips her top off, gets on top of her, smacks her head to the ground, and then just cuts her throat.
Yeah. Yep. All while the kid's watching. I don't know what happened to his brother.
Well, like he was a baby. The brother was a baby.
Right, but they just never mentioned. Oh.
He's crying in a car seat, and then Billy's like, he's hiding on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like in a ditch.
Yeah, and you see some from flashbacks later that the Santa was kind of like,
where are you at, you little shit?
Kind of stalking around trying to find him.
Yeah, he witnesses murder.
That'd fuck anybody up, but especially after your grandpa like snaps out of his coma to tell you that Santa is going to punish you for being naughty and then slaughters your family. you're going to have some issues with Santa Claus, which is kind of the whole point.
Also, what you told me, I'm really glad I noticed it when it happened later on, was that we watched the uncut version.
Yeah. Well, I watched the put back together version. I watched the
the uncut one. It has like deleted scenes basically, or some extended scenes. And those scenes, what you said, is like they couldn't get the negatives.
They couldn't find the negative, yeah.
So they have like basically like a VHS transfer of those scenes, and it's very apparent but it's kind of cool because you're watching
exactly, yeah.
This scene's going to be either dark or
it kind of made me think that I'm surprised that there's not more. I guess why at some point like nobody's going to put in the work to do this, but it would be interesting instead of just having like your DVD or whatever. Have just like, oh, over here in the special features are your deleted scenes, but actually have like a cut of the movie.
Well, they used to do that. They used to have, I think it was called Germs. Someone explained to me once, like how a DVD is authored. Like in Blu-ray, it's a little bit different now too. But you could choose to watch. I think Aliens was like this when that one came out. Was you could choose to watch either version instead of having two versions of the movie on the disc. You'd have the movie, and then you had the deleted scenes. And if you pick them, like the extended cut. It would play the movie, and then when those scenes came up, it would like know how to go to a different layer, like I think it's called Germing, and it would grab that deleted scene and then insert it into the movie during the movie playback.
Okay,
which would make sense to a logical standpoint. You're like,
but you wouldn't know, but unless
you wouldn't see it.
But that's my point: is like actually having a visual indicator.
Oh God, I'm just bouncing microphones everywhere.
But actually having a visual indicator to let you know, like, oh, now we're switching to what got cut.
No, it was seamless.
Right, but that's what this was, which was kind of fascinating that way.
It's weird because I think that the uncut version works. If I see those scenes, I go, if they had taken those out, I would imagine this scene would look weird. This actually makes a lot more sense, with this stuff in here.
Some of it, 90% of it is just literally just they made the scenes less violent. That's all.
Or they're connecting scenes, like someone walking to a door.
I think the transition was. That's where I kind of wanted to go back and. I mean, I'm not going to, but I want to go back and just watch the regular one because I'm like, oh, I'm curious how this glued together with this part cut out.
But that's what I'm saying. So it was kind of nice to watch and know you were watching it. And too, is also funny because usually when it's something the bad version came on, you're like, it's gonna be bloodier now because this is the stuff that got cut out.
And then you can also see like and make it. You're like, yeah, that's that was the movie was mean enough. It didn't need to go there.
But okay. So now that this Santa Claus just goes missing at this point, it's just 10 years later.
That's true. They don't ever really
nothing happens. It's just Billy's now 10 years older and
an orphanage.
Yeah, that just there's a name. What's it? No, it's not 10 years later. It's a couple years later. It's actually not that much longer.
Well, they do two different jumps.
There's an interim. Yeah, it's a couple years. I wonder if I wrote it down. No, I did not. I don't know if they actually said how many years it was. It's just like, and this one, so instead of the shot of the camera going Utah mental facility, it's like some school for orphan children. Yeah. Like just depressing. Like, oh my God, this is sad.
Yeah.
It's a Catholic school, and the head nun is uber bitch.
Yeah.
Punish those children,
Well, she's just basically like, suck it up. This kid needs to just like, the only way this kid's going to get over it is by like, having it essentially like, I mean, he just needs to, through discipline.
Yeah.
Through discipline, this child will get over this trauma.
Anyone who went to like a Catholic school in like the 80s, though, you really?
Yeah. I went to Catholic school until I was born in 84. I started going to school in all right, so in 88.
It's different. I always hear about the stories like Bill Maher or people from Jersey.
I can tell you weird stuff. Not as bad as this movie, but there's certainly weird shit. Yes, for sure.
So this is the epitome of like...
have licensed teachers, and it's weird.
The younger nun, have to say she's very pretty. I don't know if you noticed that.
She's the nice one.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. She looks like someone, I can't put my
She's
finger
probably been
on
in other movies and stuff, but who knows?
Gilmer McCormick.
That's the actress's name?
Yeah. Okay. She looked familiar. I think she was in one thing that I'd seen, but...
probably.
I don't know. Something about her eyes. She's so pretty. I am being a pig, but I don't care because I think she's...
nun. She's
a hot nun.
She's a woman of God, Kyle. So yeah, this is just kind of like more misery porn kind of.
But it's a very short section of like, this is him at like age 13 or, something like that.
But again, you can see like the writer said to himself when he was doing this, like, I want to, like, how do you get to be a killer Santa? Because nobody else would give a shit. It would just be like, killer Santa, who gives a fuck? Yeah. But he's like, no, how do you get to be a killer Santa? And this is him, like, working backwards forensically. It's like, well, if something bad happened to him when he was a kid, and then he was in an environment where literally got no... Can you imagine today, like, if you're like, oh, this kid, his family was murdered in front of him and this whole thing? I know what we'll do. I mean, I guess that is what happens. Like, I know that orphanages are not like... I've known from watching The Wire and a lot of other things that being in the foster system is not great.
Oh, obviously.
And actually, I have, now that I think about it, like I have actually have friends, you know, I have like actual people that I know that can speak to that kind of stuff. And so I don't know, maybe, but like it sucks. Like, I mean, this movie is not, I'm not saying this, watch this movie to understand like mental illness or how somebody gets to be like, you know, how somebody could get to a point where maybe they
basically
would like, snap.
Push them enough they're going to break.
But a good way to do it would probably be to kill a kid's family and then throw them in a dogmatic, cold Catholic orphanage environment.
And then one of her, the head nun's solution is make him sit on Santa's lap.
Yeah.
You know, face your fears.
Right.
And then he punches Santa.
He gets all fucked up with sex too, because like he.
Oh yeah, that's a weird ass thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's about to walk outside and he hears some moaning and he walks down the hallway and he looks in the keyhole and it's one of those shots where it's like his face looking at the camera and there's the light of a keyhole on his face because he's like, you know, looking through it and he's just watching, I guess, two of the older kids that live there.
I assumed it was two of the older kids. Yeah,
I was hoping it was a nun, but
that's what I first thought at first.
And they're just doing it and he's just like, oh, but I could tell he liked it.
Yeah,
because he didn't turn away.
Right. Well, sure, young boy. Is that what she ties him to the bed for? Or is that's later after the Santa sitting?
Yeah, I forgot about that one. I wrote that. He's having bad dreams, and she just ties him to his bed.
Right.
I was like, what if he has to itch his nose? What if his face is itchy and his hands are tied?
I remember there being, I could be wrong, but I kind of remember there being. What did you say?
It's like, what if he has to itch his nose real bad?
Oh, yeah, I know. It's awful. I mean, it's awful just in general. What are you fucking doing? But like, again, like, it's Catholic school.
Catholic school, yeah, I was going to say, I hear that.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there some editing, like, while... Like, was there any editing in the movie that was connecting his memory of like his mother's like bare breasts getting killed, and then also the sex that he was witnessing in the thing, and just kind of like insinuating that sex and violence were kind of getting like mixed together in a weird.
It either happens later when he kills like the just young girl who's a good,
because that's kind of like sets it off a little bit as he's like fantasizing about this girl later, and then she's like fooling around with the other guy, but he's gonna like rape her, I guess. Anyway,
it does flash back at one point. He sees his mom's tits on the ground. Yeah. Excuse our language. We're pulling the essence of this movie out.
Yeah,
it's very much like that.
It's a dirty movie, but it's trying to not be like in its own weird kind of fucked up way. It's trying not to be.
It's funny. I wrote in my notes, "bitch ass nun." Anyways, okay. Then we jump here. 10 years later, the nun is still hot because she hasn't aged a day in 10 years.
Yeah,
nobody has except for Billy.
Billy. Yeah, he's a big strapping man.
Okay, can you? I read into this a little bit in a weird way. So the hot nun, is there asking this local store owner if she can get a job to one of their kids in the orphanage, and he's like, there's a stockroom job open, but we don't need kids. We need, it's a man's job. He's got to do man stuff. And she's like, I think he looks like a good enough boy or whatever. And he turns around and Billy's like all buff and old now.
Like they definitely shot it in such a way that it's like he's 7 feet tall or something.
Yeah. And he goes, I'll give him a job immediately, like that kind of thing. No, there's two ways to take this, and I don't really know. One is the shop owner reminds me of the character from the Dawn of the Dead remake who starts wearing women's shoes at one point. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Did he see Billy and get sexually attracted to him and give him the job? Or was it just that he thought she was talking about a boy and then he saw a man and was like, oh, he can do the job? I think it was that. But it felt, I do too. But he had this weird reaction that was very like, look at this handsome young stud. Like, I'm going to get some hot dunks on this boy. Come here, like some hot dunks on this Christmas boy. It was a little, and then like I said, the way they shot make him like 7 feet tall. He has sleeveless shirts, muscles are rippling. And the store owner just got excited. Yeah. And not that I care if he's gay, but it was just a really... so many toys. I was afraid the store owner at some point was going to like come on to him. Yeah. And then it was going to cause him to snap, but I mean, that never happened. It reminds me of the scene... oh, that would have been too sleazy. Yeah, in the 80s. It reminded me of the scene from Gainer Paint. Oh, fuck. I know, yeah. I know the Michael Bay one when the guy's sexually attracted to The Rock, and The Rock he just doesn't understand why the guy is talking to him, and then he touches him, so The Rock just beats the shit out of him. Yeah, it's just kind of a weird, like, it's only because I've seen the Dawn of the Dead remake did those two characters, like, women's clothes or women's shoes kind of, I think at one point the guy's wearing, like, lingerie, or he has, like, women's panties on or something like that. Yeah. I put those two together because they look like the same guy, and then, anyways. I am just rambling tonight. That's okay. People like our rambling. I enjoyed these 5 movies, I'll say that. Yeah, I've enjoyed all of them. I'm surprised. This was better than I thought it was going to be. So...
okay, so he works at the toy store, and he's great. He's doing great. He's doing great. He's the best toy store stock boy ever.
The music montage?
Yes. It's like doing the thing, and I'm putting away the toys, and I love the children.
Christmas time.
Christmas time. Stocking boxes because I am the best stock boy that's ever lived.
On the commentary track, I was skipping around. I didn't listen to much of it. They were talking about these songs are a relic of the 70s and 80s that people don't know about. They're like country western and pop and random genres. They were making like holiday songs, but then they would disappear. They would play like that one season, and that would be it.
Right.
And so like now some of them are coming back because of vinyl and because of CDs, like movie soundtracks. The music in this movie is terribly hilarious.
Yeah.
The montages are so good. Yeah, but like he's doing great. He got a job, and then the next scene, immediately he's like, "Fuck this job. I don't care about this job." And I'm like, "Wait, what happened?"
Because Christmas is coming. Because he was working in the toy store, and it was just, I work in a toy store, and I got nothing against toys. Toys are fine. I love toys. And then it was like, oh, Christmas. Oh,
yeah, because like the fake Joe Pesci.
Because that's what the idea is, that Billy's totally fine. He's fine year round. It's just when Christmas starts coming, that's when he has problems.
But then like the fake Joe Pesci is the backroom guy's like, "Hey, Billy, why are you slacking off your job?"
He just fucking hates him for like no reason.
Right. And so that's when it's like Billy kind of doesn't give a shit, and I was surprised because Billy seemed like he was doing really good.
Yeah, poor Billy.
Yeah, there's a girl that works there that he has the hots for that I thought that, I guess it was just all in his mind, but I kind of thought they had a thing between them.
Yeah, I mean,
so then later on when she starts making out with Joe Pesci, I was like, wait a minute, is she just like, oh, that was all in his mind. Like they didn't actually.
I mean, I think it was just, maybe she's just flirtatious in general or something.
But I was kind of just really surprised with that.
Yeah, he has like a whole fantasy sequence of him,
sexing her up.
Yeah.
And then it gets ruined because I think he sees his mom's breasts.
That's what I'm saying, I think there was some weird stuff there. And also, I don't remember.
Basically, they close the store. Christmas, the boss is like, "Yay, it's over. Christmas is over. Get all these brats out of here." And he goes, "It's 7:00. Let's get shit-faced."
No, but what's really important is that it's not just that Christmas is on the way. It's that,
I forgot.
Our Santa's not going to be able to make it, so Billy, you're going to be Santa this year.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it real fucking weird, because Santa to him has been like a scary monster, but now he's putting the scary monster's outfit on. Yeah.
And he has to hold this little squirmy girl, and he's like, "You better stop squirming or I'm going to punish you."
That's right. Yeah.
And then I love that the parents are like, "He's so good with the kids."
Right. So he starts inhabiting the persona of his like tormentor, like his.
I got a cramp ass.
The guy that killed his family, he's kind of turning into him.
But he's being mean to the kids, but it stops the kids from like being bad.
Right.
And the parents think he's just really good with them. Yeah,
it was good. So yes, then they have their store party.
And the boss literally locks the door, says it's 7:00. Let's get shit faced. And they start drinking. Billy doesn't know how to hold his drink. I don't think. Doesn't seem like he drinks.
No, I don't even think he masturbates.
It's all been pent up inside.
I just think he's like just.
He's screwed up mentally.
He doesn't even understand.
The Joe Pesci lookalike says, "Pamela, come back here," and they start touching and kissing, and he's like, "Let me invite you to the back room to show you your present."
Your present is rape.
Yeah. Okay.
That's your present.
I said like, there's 5 people in the store. It's not very big.
Yeah, they did with what.
Everybody knows where you are. Why are you about to go to try to fuck this girl in the back room? Like, the boss is gonna know you're missing. It's weird. And he's gonna know you're back.
I mean, it's not like the movie doesn't look cheap, but like the movie avoids real cheapness until it gets to the toy store.
Yeah.
It's just the set that they had to work with, or I don't know what, but like they clearly had to work with whatever they had. It's like
Dawn of the Dead in the mall. It's just like some boxes in a room.
Kinda, sorta. Like, I mean, yeah. Whatever. It's not Shakespeare, so.
It's fine. I mean, whatever. He goes back there. She's like, "Stop it." He's like, "You bitch, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to rape you." And then Billy saves the day by hanging him with Christmas lights.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Which I'm like, okay, he went too far. He's snapped at this point, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, he saved the girl. But then she's like, "You're a psycho.
Right.
Get off of me." And I think that if she hadn't reacted that way, he might have like recovered.
Yeah.
But then when she kind of pushed him, he's like, "Well, I guess I'm crazy."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is the point at which the movie just okay, you had your fun.
The rest of the movie now is just a murder spree.
The rest of the movie is just a murder spree.
There's nothing but murder.
Yeah, but even without all that murder spree, so this is where I said it's just strange. Like, I can enjoy a murder spree movie. Like, sure, why not? Like, you enjoy the kills, you enjoy, like, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just fucking bizarre now because you've spent the whole movie up to this point inside the head of this character.
Well, also, he was kind of like, hey, Billy, I like Billy. And now it's just, Billy is really bad.
Yeah, Billy all of a sudden turned into a fucking monster, and not in any kind of, like, sympathetic way or tragic way, just in kind of, oh, now he's crazy.
Well, like I said about motivation, is like, at least you understand his, like, why he is snapped.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there is no, like,
sympathy.
I mean, he is just literally just
Murdering.
snapped.
And he murders everybody.
Right.
No reason why. So he ends up killing the shop owner he hits him in the head with a hammer, goes right into his skull, and then the lady finds it, and she tries to run away, and she actually does a pretty good job laying a trap, where he sees her hat, and he comes around the corner and hits it with an axe, and she knocks him down, gets the keys, and he shoots her with a crossbow. And then she lays there.
A crossbow. Toy store.
Toy store. I don't know.
Sporting goods thing.
And her blood pools up in the fake snow, and then I like the camera actually. After she's like laying there dying, it shows a bunch of close-ups like the Nutcracker and the toys in the store. It's of like the toys are watching this murderous act, but they're smiling because they're toys, right? They don't like have expressions, but they're witnessing this horrific act, but they're happy toys. It's a really cool direct, whatever.
Yeah.
You're like checking your phone. I'm
Sorry.
just like, fuck you. It's a good, not dichotomy, but a good juxtaposition of the two,
Yeah. I mean,
And then he goes in the town and, okay, so the next scene is pool table, basement, girl is watching, she's babysitting her younger sister, and her boyfriend's over, they're making out, they're naked, the little girl wakes up, says, I don't want to go to bed, go back to bed, Santa Claus is going to punish you, whatever. I have to go check for the cat. The cat's outside in the snow or something. Why does Billy just show up at this random house and just murder these people?
because it's one of these movies.
Like, it's just one of those things where they had to throw in some murders.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you probably you gave it back, but you probably should just watch like this. It's not even a documentary so much as just an interview with the writer, because like this guy really is at this point just like, what, it's a slasher movie. Like he just runs around killing people. That's literally, in his mind anyway, what a slasher movie is. Been a while since I've watched any of those. Like, I'm actually looking forward eventually at some point to sitting down watching the Friday the 13th movies and stuff like that. But
If we don't ever fucking
or the Michael Myers movies and things. Like, to be fair, maybe most of them are. Maybe they are just like literally just it's just whoever's next.
There's no connective tissue of like why he shows up at this random house.
No, other than just that's the next
he was
place.
Walking down the street and saw her open the door. And okay, so this is really funny. They're making out, her tits are out. They're going to do it. And she's like, oh, the cat. She opens the door and she's like, cat, whatever your name is, I don't know. Oh, fine, fuck you, cat. Enjoy being outside. Okay, I'm sorry. Enjoy being outside means you're going to freeze to death.
Right.
2, she puts on her shorts.
Yeah.
She's downstairs in her underwear. She puts on her shorts and to go, open the door. She did not put any top on.
Yeah.
So she's walking around with her tits hanging out, but she made sure to put her shorts on because she didn't want to be, people see her underwear. But I don't really care if my breasts are hanging out. Like, what?
It was really funny is, I guess it'll just be a funny story how dumb I am, because I'm watching this and I'm talking to my fiance and I was like, texted her, I think, and I was like, were there fake boobs in 1984?
Those aren't fake boobs.
Those are fake boobs. No.
I mean, they look like them, but they don't look that. They're not big or anything.
All right. Well, we both agreed that those were fake boobs, and yes, fake boobs did exist in 1984. Apparently, that was the.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, but that's okay. So that's I think.
I didn't mean to turn this into the fake boob pop. fake
boob podcast.
Fake boob.
But I'm pretty sure that should be Leanne Quigley, or whatever her name is. Who's the one who plays Trash in Return of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
Are her boobs? I don't remember anyone ever talking about her breasts being fake.
Why would that need to be any information that people needed to talk about?
I don't know, because it seems like someone would talk about maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny that I didn't know whether that existed in 1984 or not.
Yeah, plastic surgery's been around.
There is a scene, I really like the scene, though, where the little sister comes out. Is that just me?
Oh, yeah. Linnea Quigley, sorry, that's her name. Yeah.
It's the sister that...
This is where the movie has a chance to go really dark or not.
Yeah, I mean, little sister comes out and Santa, and he's like, have you been naughty or you've been nice? And she says that and you're like, that if she says that she's been naughty, I don't know why she would, but if she did, he was probably going to fucking murder her. But instead, she says that she's nice, and I don't know why or what he says, like, well, nice little girls get presents for Christmas or something, and takes out of his pocket the bloody box opener, I guess, that he used to kill the one of the sales clerks at the toy store?
That's when he kills a woman, the girl that he's fantasizes about. He's like,
her.
He
like cuts her up the beginning, or slide her right up the middle.
Yeah, the guy's like a SPL kind of knife. And just slide
that's like cut out, right? That's they didn't keep that in the original cut. Anyway, that was kind of a funny scene. You know, that's what he gave her as a present. He kills a couple of sledders, because they're out sledding. But they were like bullies.
That was a great kill, though.
He just lops their head off, right? Like on the way down.
Yeah, they steal the sleds from 2 other kids, which is weird. I don't know what these like random like older 17-year-olds that are out sledding in the middle of the night. Yeah, we're gonna go sledding on these orange pieces of plastic. No, you're not, nerd. I'm taking your sled.
Yeah.
What
are you gonna do about it? 2 for flinching.
And he's like, woo, I'm sledding. And then one of them goes down, and then the axe just whomp, and then the guy at the bottom sees his buddy coming down in the dark. He's like, what? And then you see there's just no head.
Yeah.
And then the head comes rolling down behind it. It's great.
And then the hot nun is figured it out that it's Billy that's killing people or something, and is trying to warn the police about it, and thinks, I think I know where he's gonna go to next. And so they were right. Billy's is heading back to the orphanage to I don't know, kill all the kids there and kill the nuns.
Get his revenge on the nun.
On the nun, sure. And nice little ironic moment where they see a Santa coming up and they shoot him, but it turns out it was actually just the normal nice Santa that they were going to have.
The deaf pastor, the father, who couldn't hear the police yelling at him.
Right, the deaf. Yeah.
So they just shot him.
Yeah. So... And but then actual Billy shows up and he gets shot down before he gets a chance to bury an axe into sister or whoever the hell.
Oh, you forgot one part when he goes downstairs in the basement of the shed and the cop goes looking for him.
How does he kill him? I can't remember.
And the axe right to the chest.
Oh, okay.
That was actually one of the most tense scenes in the movie. Is the cop sees like the storage shed, which is literally just a downstairs like boiler or something, and he goes down there real slow and he's like searching. He's walking around. Goes from the boiler and like, I don't know if he's going to pop out with the axe or what. And he goes, not here. Walks back up the stairs. And right as he walks out the door, just shunk, axe.
Yeah. We kind of skipped over the most, we actually skipped over both kills with the 2 teenagers making out or whatever. But that's probably one of the more memorable kills, is that he picks her up and just hangs her onto the antlers of the, what are you reading?
I'm reading to see if Linnea Quigley had fake breasts. I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm sure somebody's going to let us know in the comments.
I found something that says, I don't even know what I'm reading, but it says, I don't know what movie this is, but Heather, this is parentheses, Linnea Quigley, and not her future breast implants. I'm going to tell you, so the Return of the Living Dead, the Scream Factory, the Blu-ray that we bought?
Yeah.
There's interviews with her, like much older in life. Her breasts are much larger.
Okay.
Much larger.
All right.
She got breast implants later.
All right.
Those are her natural breasts. Why are we talking about breasts on this podcast? I don't know. I just felt like I had to defend that. Those were real natural breasts. This is turning into a very male chauvinistic bullshit podcast, but whatever.
Anything else you want to say about Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Savage. Oh, I'm sorry. This is an article about a movie called Savage Streets that was made in 1984 with her. So she appeared in the same year in a movie with her real breasts. So I was right. Those are real breasts. This is a rabbit hole. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else on the movie? Pool table. Gets up. Puts pants on. Breasts. The boyfriend gets thrown through a window.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty weak. Well, I guess then glass all over him.
There was a fight. Like actually, they
tussled.
Like it's like a monster movie. Like you try to fight back. Like he's just a dude. You know. He's crazy, but just a dude.
He's big.
Hits him with the poker. You know, knocks him down a couple times. Like he can be dealt with. You know. Let's talk about the very end of the movie, which I guess is what I didn't know there were sequels to this movie until I found out later. There were 5 of
There's
these.
like the final shot. I forgot about that. That was the whole.
So his younger brother was also at the orphanage with him earlier too, but he's much, much younger, and he didn't see his parents get killed because he was a baby.
Right.
Now he's at the orphanage. He's probably the age that Billy was when he saw his parents get killed. He sees his brother show up as Santa Claus and goes, "No, Billy, don't do it." You know, cops shoot and kill, like you said, kill Billy. Billy says something along the lines of like, "It's done." Like, I'm glad I'm dying. It's just going to save other people from getting murdered.
Okay.
Like, he knew he was crazy, actually.
I don't remember that part, but okay.
Oh, no, it's the very last thing he talks to the nun. And you feel like empathy, I guess, for him because he's glad that someone took him out because he was crazy.
Yeah.
But then the camera cuts to the younger brother, and he gets a scowl on his
cycle
face.
Continues.
Exactly. You're like, oh, he's going to pick up the mantle and he's going to murder, which I guess is exactly
Silent Night, Deadly Night 2,
which is the plot of the other movies, or one of them at least. So,
how many of them did they make? 4, 5?
5.
Okay.
It is a good exploitation film from the 80s.
I recommend it if you know exactly if you're a person that wants to watch this.
Right.
You can tell from the title.
This isn't Child's Play.
Yeah. No.
This is
It's a dirty,
cheap,
nasty, mean little shit of a movie.
Yeah, but it's if you enjoy the horror genre and you can kind of get into that, it's definitely worth seeing. It's got some
it's got some things you probably hadn't seen before.
Yeah. Did we talk about the antlers?
Yeah, well, I did while you
I
were
was looking at
boobs.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get on to second to last movie. Another little break here, I guess. I don't really know. I need to stand up and stretch. You can talk too,
I don't know what we're talking about next.
Black Christmas.
Oh, I thought we were going to save that for the end.
No, Santa's Sleigh is the end.
Okay.
Black Christmas. 1974. Bob Clark, who's also famous for Christmas Story and Porky's.
Yep.
So this guy also has some talent.
The Canadian filmmaker that, I don't know, didn't catch on probably like he should have, I think, for that kind of pedigree. Like, I'm not too familiar with Porky's, but I do know that people often bring it up when they're talking about like 80s teen sex comedies and stuff like that. But I think for A Christmas Story is a classic. It goes there with Sandlot and I don't know, like any other kind of
everyone sees growing up.
Yeah. And okay, but then so one person you might be probably most filmmakers, you're lucky if you even make one
good movie.
Good like classic movie that people keep watching long after you're gone.
Yeah.
And Christmas Story is definitely one of those. And I kind of only vaguely knew what Black Christmas was, maybe, but I never had anybody tell me that it was something that I needed to watch or whatever. It just kind of...
It's something on a Tarantino list.
It just... Huh?
It's something like on a Tarantino list.
Sure.
Like his favorite movies, like Black Christmas, and you're like, oh...
Yeah, but he likes all kinds of junk. Like
right. You go, okay, I don't really... Whatever. But turns out a lot... After watching some of the special features and watching some interviews, it seems a lot of celebrities, a lot of other actors and filmmakers will tell the cast and crew that meet them that like Black Christmas is one of the most influential movies for them or something they loved. Someone told oh, I worked Tarantino or whatever. Like he's like it's like his favorite movie.
Black Christmas,
which made me look up the New Beverly Cinema to see if it was playing, and lo and behold, next week, obviously from whenever you hear this, they're doing a double feature of Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night at the New Beverly Cinema. It's already sold out.
This movie cannot be any more different.
Yeah.
Black Christmas is to me the my gold, discovered gold. I think that this is a stone cold classic. I can't believe I've never watched it before, but more than that, I can't believe that nobody's made me watch this before. Like I'm surprised that.
I think it's better though if you happen to watch all the other classic horror films, like the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, all that stuff. You watch all that stuff first.
All that stuff came after.
And you go, hey, you curious where all that stuff started? Check this out.
Yeah, I mean, there's some debate with that, obviously, like, chicken or egg kind of thing. Like, how far back do you want to go? Do you want to go back to Psycho? And, and then before this, you had, like, Italian giallo films, like...
all right, Jay Bauman.
Huh?
That came up in a thing one time. He had to explain what that term was.
Who?
Jay from Red Letter Media.
Oh, okay.
That's the third time we've referenced Red Letter Media in this podcast.
But Black Christmas is immediately striking. One, just like, for me anyway, the camera work, the cinematography is good.
It's also, you talking about camera work, it's almost one of the inventions of the Steadicam.
Yeah, he invented...
a shoulder rig to carry it so he could climb stuff while wearing a camera.
So I guess that's the first thing that kind of comes to mind. Obviously, like you said, if you've seen these other movies first, is the movie you get the first person POV of the killer.
Which is very a Halloween thing.
Right, Halloween came after. So that's a funny thing. Like, because John Carpenter also loves Black Christmas.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. A lot of filmmakers have told them they really like that movie and they watch it a lot and stuff.
Now, if you hear the story the way Bob Clark tells it, Bob Clark being the maker of the movie, he thinks Halloween and Black Christmas, for all their similarities, couldn't be more different. They are different films, but he thinks that maybe John Carpenter got the idea for it being Halloween, like a holiday theme slasher, from Bob Clark, from a conversation that they had together.
Black Christmas, Halloween.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not.
But But whatever. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Halloween. I do look forward to eventually doing a Halloween cast. But yeah, Halloween begins with the POV of Michael Myers, if I'm not mistaken.
Wearing the mask, or wearing a mask.
Well, you see him
put
put the mask on, like, and everything. You actually see, like, out of the holes, from what I remember.
And you hear the breathing.
And all that. So that's like some obvious stuff there, I guess. But you also have things like, okay, so you're going to have somebody stalking and picking off of a group of girls, or young people. You know what I mean? Like sorority, yeah. It's funny because, like, I was trying to explain this movie to somebody, and I don't think there's any way to explain it to somebody just in terms of, like, what the plot is, like what's happening, without them without them just thinking it sounds like every other,
like, bikini car wash slasher.
Exactly. Like, oh, it's a sorority, and this guy hides in the attic and picks them off one by one. You're like, yeah, I don't need to see that. I'm like, but you don't get it. Like, all the characters are actually really likable, and the camera work is really, really provocative.
It's a really tense.
It's extremely tense.
One of the things I like is there's very little music.
Yeah, there's hardly any.
Which is weird because there's an interview with the composer, and they asked, he did a thing, and he's like, I got all the sounds you need, and he made the soundtrack, and I'm guessing he also did, like, sound effects and stuff. He's like, I got all these sounds, sound effects, and music, and then Bob Clark says, no. Let's just have it be this part. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. And he goes, okay, I don't really agree with that, but you're the director. Let's go with it. And he goes, he was so right.
Yeah.
He was absolutely right that having this quiet, tense thing, the drama just fills the dread. It's so palpable in this movie when it's just quiet and it's creeping.
The camera's just panning over stairs.
I love the camera work in this movie. Like, I generally think a lot about camera work, but when I'm watching movies, I forget sometimes. Like, I think there's a scene in Kung Fu Hustle, bring it back to Asian cinema. You should know, it's when the fight at nighttime starts, and he pulls the shop owner, Donut's the other guy, he pulls the gay guy, you know what I mean, the one that's off, he's like fruity.
Taylor,
there you go, couldn't remember his name. He's, again, I'm not using gay as a bad thing, he
just likes to wear women's underwear.
They make fun of him in the movie for that reason, sort of. Yeah, he pulls him out in the thing, and, oh, god damn it, keep hitting the microphone. Then the musicians come out, right? So in a scene, he pulls them out. You see it slow motion. They land, kicks the guy away, and then you hear the ding, and the camera does this huge sweep, real fast, just whoosh, and he has a sound effect, and it's on his face, and it just, as he turns his head, the whole camera goes with him. And every time I watch that, I'm just like, oh, I love when a camera does something that you realize that you forget while you're watching good camera work, and you realize, oh, I haven't been watching anything interesting. When something big hits your eye, it's like refreshing, right? There were multiple times in this movie where I noticed the camera was doing something really cool, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying this, Because it's not even anything good. Like I say, it's like they used to tell in audio, is like, when the audio is good, no one claps their hands for you. It's when the audio is bad they notice. Because no one notices when something's good. It's supposed to be good. It's only when it's lacking or bad does someone go, this is terrible because I noticed the audio sucks. When the audio is good, it's just, yeah, it's supposed to be, right? When the camera's just showing you something, you're like, hey, I'm looking at something. But when the camera does something interesting, sometimes you forget that you're like, oh, this is filmmaking, And this movie, again, multiple times, just made me go like, God, the last shot of the movie, it gives you a sense of, think about like a set, like a movie set. Like a TV sitcom, everything's on one stage. And when they go between locations, it's just another camera somewhere else. They don't have transitions because it's fake. It's a fake stage they built with a fake living room and a fake bedroom next to each other, whatever. And, movies are built, they work on sets a lot too. You have this house, and you're like, well, I don't really know the layout of the house. I don't know where one bedroom is in relation to another bedroom. It doesn't really matter when you make a movie because they'll just film a room. But that last shot actually shows you, like, this room was here, this room was here, this staircase was here. Like, oh, shit, like, you see it all connect. And that's just, it's really impressive. Because they weren't just shooting in this open set and doing whatever they wanted. It's like, no, they had physical limitations of where things could be, and they moved the camera through those places, and they make you feel like this is a real, I mean, it was a real location. It was an actual house they shot it in. But it gives you that sense of this is a real place. When you watch Krampus, while that house is big and fun and whatever, it just feels like a movie set.
Right.
Nothing feels like this. This feels like a real lived-in location that they have to travel through to get from one room to another. And the camera does that by showing you a lot of the layout and like how one room goes into another and how things are connected. So, yeah, I love the camera work in this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's one of those things where it's hard to describe or hard to say.
I didn't notice it the first time. The first time I watched this, I wasn't watching it for this podcast. I was watching it just because it was like next up on my list, and I was drinking a lot. And but I expected to probably fall asleep or get tired and not. And I was impressed that even though I was not totally sober, that it was maintaining my interest. I was like, this is a pretty fucking good movie. Like, while I'm watching it. And then the second time I watched it after, and I thought like, wow, Black Christmas is a pretty fucking good movie.
Yeah.
And kind of started talking to some people about it, throughout the week. And then when you said, let's do a Christmas horror thing, and I'm like, okay, you do Black Christmas. I watched it the second time, and second time was like solidifying, like, yes, this is one of my favorite movies.
Well, it's one of those things where I think I realized, like, I had the epiphany halfway through that, like, oh, this is going somewhere.
Yeah.
This isn't just another slasher movie. This isn't just like, oh, there's girls and there's a thing. Like, this has got some real good build-up. Also has one of I assume it's the invention of, like, one of the most overused tropes in comedy, other than, like, in actual horror, like maybe Scream did this or something like that. But this one originated the calls coming from within the house.
Right, yes.
And while I was watching it, I'm like, well, it's obvious because they show you that the guy is in the house with them.
Yeah.
When it happens in the movie, I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
They did such a good job. The camera panning on John Saxon as he realizes it, and he goes, okay, I got to call the station. We could tell her to get out of the house, but don't tell her what's going on.
Yeah.
It was so well done.
Yeah.
And even though I knew it was coming, and the whole time I was going, I think this is the movie where it comes from. It has to be the movie it comes from. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, yeah, it is. And then also, it did it so respectfully. It wasn't just like this. I've heard in commercials and memes and all these jokes throughout the years, like, oh, the call's coming from inside the house. This is when it was taken seriously, and it still affected me, even though I already kind of knew it was coming.
I think Hitchcock did, like Dial M for Murder or something like that back when. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's the end all be all, but it's definitely the one that I noticed that looks like the things you see in, like, even holiday commercials. I used to see, like, there's a cute toy penguin for Santa Claus that was calling downstairs from upstairs, It just, yeah.
Speaking of Hitchcock, he famously said that suspense is not, it's not like, it's having two people sitting down at a table, and it's not just like all of a sudden having a bomb blow off that the audience doesn't know is there. That's not suspense. Suspense is the audience knows that the bomb is under the table,
right,
and the characters don't. And I think that's a testament to how tense this movie is that what Billy's doing. Like, and I'm calling him Billy because it seems like other people have just come to the point they call it. What the killer is doing. That he's hanging out that it's not the boyfriend. That it's all of these things. You're equipped with all the knowledge. He's in the house. Yeah, he's in the house. But that doesn't keep anything from being any less suspenseful.
Well, you also don't, he's in the house, but you don't, I guess it's obvious he never leaves, but the phone calls are coming in, and you're like, well, how, and they do kind of drop one hint earlier about, like, there's two phones and different phone line, but, it's still kind of, you're not quite sure what's going on.
At least enough time goes by, you forget about it, I guess.
Yeah.
You got Olivia Hussey in the main role, who I haven't really seen any movies with her, but she
talk
at this
about
time,
good looking.
Well, she was Juliet in the Romeo and Juliet movie from that time period, and it was a really steamy movie from when I remember.
She's an actor, you know what I mean? Like, she's a thespian,
right? And then
they talk like, even she's like, I don't watch horror movies because they scare me.
Right.
She's very what's her accent? I don't know where she's from.
She's got maybe Eastern European or something.
Yeah, she's very stuffy. But she chose to do a horror movie, and it's funny because one of the very cool things about this movie being progressive is that she is pregnant in the movie, and she says, I'm getting an abortion, and the guy is like, that's our baby, this and that. And she's like, I'm a woman, my choice, whatever, And it's like, wow, that's refreshing in 1974.
I was surprised to see that in 1974 as well.
But some of the real life story behind this, I don't know if that's why it got written in. She had just had a kid, and she says, oh, I can get away from the kid for a month, go film this movie.
Oh, there you go.
So she's like, not only in like the script of the movie, but like in real life, she's like, and that kind of made me have a little reaction of like, did you just leave your kid with somebody for a month? Like, what? I guess it's a different time period, but like that's...
Yeah, the actors, that's kind of what it is, Like,
but it wasn't like, oh, poor me. It was, oh, here's an excuse.
Right.
I remember there's an outtake from Parks and Rec, bring it back to Adam Scott, where Leslie and him are finding out they have triplets, and like it's a shock, whatever, and the outtake is kind of a joke of the director. She's like, hey, we do this shit to get away from our kids. This is what acting is, And it's just kind of like, every parent has that, like, I want to get the fuck away from my kids. But to actually be like, I'm going to take a job where I leave my baby with somebody for a month, I had a reaction of like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, I look at celebrities who have babies and they have like all these nannies and they go do stuff. I'm like, you're a bad parent.
Yeah. I guess that is pretty strange. Like, especially the newborn
like I've seen like I think Mila Jovovich, like when she had her kid, like there'd be times you hear about like, oh, like the kid was on set, like the baby, because they would breastfeed and they'd act and they come and then the kid, like they do both. This is very much like, nah, fuck my kid.
Yeah.
I'm an actress.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. My husband and some nanny will take care of him for a month. I get time off and to go work, and I'm just like, fuck you. Like I took care of my kids. I stayed around. God damn it. Like you don't get to just go away for a job. That's bullshit.
Kyle hates Olivia Hussey. Got it.
She sure is hussy.
She's a little hussy. Speaking of which, by the way,
also she's in It, the miniseries, 1990 miniseries,
and her boyfriend is Dave from 2001: Space Odyssey. So I don't know if the last time you watched that. He's the main character from Space Odyssey.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Who's weird. He a lot of the special features for this one, Art Hindle is the guy who played the boyfriend of.
Yeah,
whatever.
Him and the first girl that get killed are like the ones. They're sort of the poster children, I guess, for the movie. Yeah, they go to the conventions and stuff.
But he's also the most interesting character. Or
the guy with the big fur coat.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is extremely fun to listen to in interviews, Fan Expo, behind the scenes stuff. He was really good friends with Bob Clark after this.
Yeah.
Like he got hired as a Canadian actor because of like so much of the cast had to be Canadian actors. Like provincial rules with shooting there, they had to have like 35% of whatever, but 65% had to be Canadian. So a lot of Canadian actors just got the bit roles, and the 35% went to like overseas stars or Americans or whatever. And he came in to read for the character, and he had him actually read for the one you're talking about, the boyfriend.
Yeah, I know he was going to, right.
And Bob Clark said to him, he's like,
I wish you had read first.
I wish you had read for that character because you were really good. And he was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
He would have hired him for that. And then he went on to be like in multiple movies with Bob Clark. So that's why he kind of has the face of this. He was good friends with Bob Clark. He helped like on the set and doing stuff. Super entertaining. If you watch the special features, Art Hindle is a really cool dude. There's like a hockey scene in there.
Yeah. Well, it's a Canadian movie.
Yeah. He actually, so God, I'm just going to get ahead of myself, but the original script was like, oh, he's a forward and they're skating around. She comes in there and bangs on the glass, gets his attention. He goes, well, how about you make me a goalie? Because that way you can have the puck slamming into the wall, the goalpost, into me, and you can have all these cool sounds going on. And, he ran with it, worked out. So they hired the University of Toronto hockey team. And I guess Bob Clark told him, he's like, hey, this guy's an actor. Don't hit him in the face. And, like I said, like, he's Canadian. He's the one who wanted to do the hockey stuff. So I don't know that he was like a big-time hockey player. Maybe he just liked hockey. I don't know. But he got out there, put the mask on. He's like, and they just started beaming me in the face with the hockey pucks. Like the college kids. I mean, he had a mask on.
Okay.
Which, there's your Friday. Not like hockey mask never existed, but.
Hey, hockey mask. That's good. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that yet.
Right. But like again, that has existed before, but the way he wore it, it was creepy, even though he wasn't a bad character.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, I get out there and we're doing the drills, and the guys are just hitting me with the puck right in the face. Sidetrack, tangent.
You also got Margot Kidder, because Lois Lane from the Superman movies. She's great.
And everyone said of her, they didn't really talk to her much.
Yes, well, she's great in the movie, whatever.
She's kind of a wild child, right?
She's kind of drugs. She's a boozy, kind of likes to drink.
Okay.
Almost like comedic relief. Which is funny because the other...
No, I mean as an actress. The real Margot Kidder, is she kind of like had a career of being kind of like...
Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know much about Margot Kidder. Seems like she's Lois Lane Superman.
It seems like, she was too much of... People on the set were like, she kind of kept herself, and she was kind of a wild, weird... Like, she told him, go to L.A., you make so much money being a handsome boy. Like, she was kind of out there, so...
Then the other actress, I forget her name, but apparently she was a comedian at the time. And then you get the sheriff, whoever person who was also the sheriff dad.
John Saxon.
John Saxon in Nightmare on Elm Street.
He's also in Enter the Dragon.
There you go. So this movie is about a sorority house in Canada, even though it's not in Canada, it's in America. But this whole movie feels very Canadian because it's a Canadian movie.
Yeah.
And apparently that has something to do with, like, it did good in Canada, but for whatever reason... I don't remember what they said. Like, they messed up the marketing, or they didn't put much money into the marketing or whatever, but, like, not many people see it. It's crazy because I feel like if people saw this in the States, this would have, like, caught on. I think...
Well, it was No, that was the other movie. It was retitled or something like that. Anyways.
So you have there's not really, like, a whole lot of... Some crazy guy crawls into the second-story window of this sorority house and starts hiding in the attic in between killing the girls that live there.
I wonder if there's a loud sound just now as I move my microphone. I hope not.
And that would maybe be boring or just like your typical run-of-the-mill slasher fare, but But all these characters are, I think, very likable. They're all very three-dimensional.
Especially for like the house mother, which I don't even know if that's the thing.
Yeah, it was great little...
Who was hiding alcohol in every nook and cranny possible.
Trying to hide all the little sexual posters and innuendos from one of the fathers. Like, you're so kind. Fucking funny. I love little shots like... Actually, that scene right before the first kid that gets killed, her dad ends up showing up because it's like she hasn't been home and I haven't been able to get a hold of her.
Right.
And while he's there, he's talking to I don't know what you call her, the den mother for the house
mother
lady. And it all seems pretty tame, but I guess like for like conservative dad, like this is a pretty wild sorority house.
And this is like the 70s, so there's like a lot of free love hippie stuff. You
know? There's like great shot of this poster where it's like just it's a sequence of like this old lady that's taking pictures of her who slowly but surely was raising up her hand and flipping the bird off to the camera.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. It was really weird.
Just great. It was just one of the poster they had in the room.
Right.
So she was amazing. She likes like singing songs to herself and is hiding bottles of sherry all over the house. And so you have like this very human, very like kind of humor.
Which I don't know why she's hiding the liquor unless she wants to keep it from everybody else, but she could lock it in her room. It's like she's hiding her alcoholism, but for no reason.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know.
She literally has a bottle of alcohol in the toilet tank.
It was great.
She's like, oh, my alcohol. Like she gets excited to drink it.
You got Margot Kidder who also drinks and telling jokes about and telling stories about how turtles fuck and making jokes with the police guy at the police station, leaving fellatio.
As their phone number?
No, because he doesn't know like theta, gamma, whatever. It's like this one's called fellatio. And
I thought that had more to do with the fact that phone systems back then made no sense.
Oh, maybe that has.
Ever watch I Love Lucy? And they're like, it's circle something, and I think it's like
possible.
It's like a word and the numbers. So she's like, our number is fellatio, whatever.
And he didn't know what that word meant, so it was kind of.
If you don't know what it means, it means blowjob.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting tired too, so this movie's fantastic because
you kind of have to just watch it.
You kind of have to watch it because it's very well done. It's very well directed. It's well lit.
There's a couple of mistakes in this movie. Okay, like I said, there's a scene in the beginning for if you saw this where when Barb, who's the first girl that gets killed? Her name?
I forget her name.
It's like Carla or something like that.
I mean, you don't get to see her for very long.
She's meeting with her boyfriend, which is the guy I was talking about, and she's walking him out, and Barbara is the main girl.
Well, it's Margot Kidder.
No, she's
Jessica.
on the phone. She's on the phone, and you're seeing on camera these two talking to each other, and all of a sudden Margot Kidder's voice is talking on the phone over them, and it felt like the audio was not supposed to be there. And I rewound it, and I'm like, no, the scene just like it's like audio from behind the cameras going on. I think they're trying to make like you hear voices from around the house, but it was very like really bad. There's one scene there, and then when the first girl's killed, and I guess he carries her upstairs. You see him, the shadow. You see his feet. You see a shadow, and you can tell in the shadow he's carrying a body. And the camera pans over to the staircase, the ladder, and the door closing in the attic. But there's no physical way that he walked to there from that camera shot.
I think I know what you mean, and I was
kind of like, is this supposed to just?
It's sort of eerie that it happens that fast. I guess.
I guess it was more like there was a visual mistake here.
Well, there's some more proto Jason.
But it
Myers there stuff for you, like that's impossible for them to be the places that they're supposed to be.
It made me more think that I was questioning if I wasn't sure what was going on.
Right.
Because I think it was a mistake on camera.
Billy himself, the actual villain, I guess, is disturbing.
He's a schizophrenic.
Like this is very unlike other slasher movies where it's just like scary monster come, the boogeyman's come to get you. This guy feels like that's probably like. If that happened to somebody in real life, that's probably the kind of person that would do something like that. Yeah. He's clearly schizophrenic, and and
the main crux of the film is that they keep getting these phone calls, and they pick it up, and it's just like, hey, you pretty pig cunt, I'm gonna lick your cunt, like, and it's just like, whoa, this is really.
But also just screaming and then yelling at himself and using different voices, and it's just they
actually use multiple actors and actresses. And then like put all their voices together. So you have to take it as like this crazy person who has multiple personalities is talking to himself as different people. But when he talks, his voice is also different, Right. The pretty pig cunt line was just
for 1974.
Right. And it's let me lick your pretty pig cunt. I'm like, oh, wow. My wife is going to say this is really, I don't even like saying it out loud on the thing, but I'm just quoting the movie.
Yeah.
It's disturbing. And I guess what they found out later was, when she was acting, when she was on the phone, Bob Clark was reading lines. She's like, those weren't the lines he was reading me.
Right.
Yeah, because they were really
She wouldn't be able to, because she's launching back because she's a firecracker, right? But go stick your tongue in a light socket. And he's like, my tongue up here.
That was Margot Kidder. No, Olivia Hudson.
Oh yeah, she definitely.
Yeah, he's like she didn't watch the movie for a long time after it was made because she doesn't like horror movies, so she didn't know what he was saying. How bad it was.
That kind of stuff was. Do you want to talk? Okay, so I guess,
but this killer is literally just someone who is just.
He's just nuts.
Literally just crazy.
Yeah.
And he's picking them off one by one in the house and hiding the bodies in a way that no one finds out anyone's dead for long periods of time.
Yeah.
Even at the end of the movie,
disturbing ways. Like the girl smothered with the plastic is awful. You keep cutting back to her like
rocking. She's in a rocking chair with a doll that's been disfigured, and he's like rocking the chair back and forth.
Look of terror on her face with the her last gasp is sucked in the piece of plastic into her mouth, so she looks vacuum sealed.
There's a hole in the bag right there. That's why she would breathe through the hole that's in her mouth.
That's fucked up. And you keep going back to his first person perspective every once in a while, just rocking the chair and yelling and just disturbed guy.
Also, this is an extremely grainy film.
Yeah, I like it.
It looks like 1974. It's one of those things where sometimes you watch an old movie on Blu-ray and you're like, wow, it's really clean. Like the colors are always, they shot it in different kind of film stocks and stuff. And the color, like Dawn of the Dead, if you can get a Blu-ray Dawn of the Dead now, which it's like you can't anymore, it's extremely clean. But the colors are very boring, This is extremely grainy, shot in the dark.
I love the look of this movie. Yeah. I could watch it forever. I like the cops are they're not like bumbling idiots. Like they actually try. Everybody actually just tries to do, like everybody does just very real human things.
Yeah.
I think. There's the... where you watch movies like this, you're like, why'd she run up the stairs? I'm like, I don't really think that there's a lot of that going on in this movie. I feel like everybody's reacting to the situation.
Well, there's also a lot of characters, and so the idea is like no single one of them is kind of getting all the information. You, the viewer, are seeing all the different scenes with all the different actors and actresses and getting all the information, but each one of them is only getting little pieces of it.
Right.
So they don't quite see what we're,
you can totally, even just the John Saxon, you can see like, yeah, it's totally the boyfriend. Like that would be, from his perspective, that makes complete sense. And you're seeing him like destroy his piano with the stanchion. Yeah. And it's, so.
Also, when he played that piano, it was terrible.
I love that scene.
I don't know what that was. That was supposed to be some artistic
that's the point,
bullshit,
right? Well, no, he fucked up. Like he had a bad day. Like he got a bad grade on his thing.
Yes, but he sounded like a 5-year-old pounding on the keys of piano.
He was. That's absolutely what it was.
I thought it was artistic.
He was a petulant child. Like
it was just bad. He actually doesn't know how to play the piano. He went to Juilliard. It was like, hey, now here's your recital. He's like, I don't know.
I loved the I can't remember her name, but the other actress, the one that's the comedian. I like her boyfriend that's like dressed up as Santa Claus, and he's like, ho fuck. It made me happy. There's a lot.
Yeah, and they're cursing in front of kids. Yeah, and Margot Kidder's
feeding them alcohol.
Like, like what? This is a sorority, all right.
I dig it, and so I don't really.
All right, so the old lady gets hit with a hook and a pulley and gets right through the neck, and it like hangs her.
Yeah.
Margot Kidder gets stabbed with a glass unicorn.
Yeah,
it's bloody. The other girl dies.
Gets
killed in the same room with her, knocked out. So what happens is the cops decide they need to tap the phone after they finally call the cops and say, "Hey, we've been getting these calls and our friends are missing." They tap the phone. You have to stay on the line for a certain amount of time so we can trace it. They're having trouble tracing it because he keeps hanging up. They finally figure out, okay, here's the number. And the guy's like, that's not possible. That's the other line in the house. He's like, no, that's where the call's coming from.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, shit. So it's really cool. He calls they're in the police car, or they're in their car, and he calls on the radio, calls the station. He says, call the house. He's like, don't fuck this up or I'm going to have your ass. Call her back. Tell her to walk out the front door. There's a cop outside in a car in the front of the house too, right? But you kind of already know that like he's probably dead. Which begs the question about the boyfriend, because that dude never left the house.
You don't know that. So it was easy enough for him to climb up and down.
Right, but that boyfriend was hiding outside the whole time too.
Yeah, but he could have killed that guy at any time out in the cold.
Right.
And he's always just been sitting out there the whole time. Like,
right, but I mean, the idea that the boyfriend might have been the one who did it, the boyfriend, you actually see him at one point, he's hiding behind a tree.
Right.
And he's waiting outside. So it's like, did he kill the cop?
Because then he goes, like they kind of settled whether it was him or not, because they're like, well, this person called and then he was here.
Yeah.
But I guess
I don't remember that happening though.
I guess you could just say that okay, then maybe it's some other person that's calling. The caller's not the murderer. I guess that could have been the coincidence. But.
Well, no, because it came from in the house, so
right.
It had to be. But I also don't remember the scene where he was there when the thing happened. I mean, maybe it did.
Yeah.
But it's not him, and obviously it's not him. Regardless, where were we going with this? People are dying. The cop outside is dead. Okay, so he calls the cop at the station. They don't know that he's dead. The cop outside. So they say, call her back. Tell her walk out the door calmly. Just go outside. Leave the house. Don't go back in for anything. He's like, don't tell her the call's coming from inside the house. Just tell her to follow your directions. Just tell her to go outside. I will be there in 5 minutes, So he calls her and he's like, go outside. She's like, oh, but Barbara's upstairs sleeping. And the other person's like, just get out of the house. Just get your thing and leave. She's like, but I gotta go upstairs. It's like, the call's coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, you ruined it, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, she should have known, get the fuck out of the house. And of course, she went upstairs to get her friend, and then,
Yeah, I mean...
It's a movie. I mean,
sure. We all say it's easy to...
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, that was the plot. It was like, he tried to tell her calmly, just leave the house, and she wouldn't do it. So then he had to resort to telling her the truth.
Yeah.
Which made it even worse for some reason.
Right.
And then she ends up in the basement, which is great.
She ends up getting chased by the killer.
Oh, yeah. And we never see him.
No.
We see his eyeball.
That's it. Yeah. It's actually funny, the person who ever did the painting for the Shout Factory artwork for the Shout Factory release, I guess, like, horror fans got all mad because it said it was just, like, showing his face.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're not supposed to see his face. So they literally, like, changed and went back to making it just, like, all black except for just the eyeball. I
think there was, like, some question about, like, what actor was playing...
Right.
What parts? I think they actually had the boyfriend.
Kind of a Zodiac thing.
Like, they might have been SI, and they wouldn't say who it was and stuff. Yeah, she ends up in the basement, and then, the fucking boyfriend outside. You see him walking by, and you think it's the killer, right? And he's, like, peeking in the window, and it's, like, all iced over. He starts wiping the ice away, and it's like, honey, is that you in there? It's me. What's going on? I heard some noise. And then he breaks the window, and you're like, okay, you don't just break the window because you want to go talk to your girlfriend, And so you're thinking, what is his deal? Is he the killer? It is a very good job of kind of going back and forth. Because you remember that when she's down there and she sees him? And she sees him at first and she's like, kind of relief. And then she backs away. Yeah. And he starts to like clean the window off and then he breaks it and breaks into the room. And you're going, I think she's having the realization that, shit, it is him. Mm-hmm. And then the next scene is cops show up, see the dead cop. They find him in the basement. She had the hot poker and she was able to kill him and knock him out or whatever. And then she's all passed out from shock and whatever. I remember it ends kind of like they put her in bed upstairs and they're like, oh, it was the boyfriend all along. She's going to be asleep for hours from the medication we gave her or something like that. And let's let her sleep. Oh, there's a thing going on. We all have to leave, right? So everyone leaves the house and she's sleeping there by herself. And there's a cop outside.
Yeah.
And then the camera does a thing where it pans from her room.
And this is because this is an unbroken shot. They just stay on the whole time while the cops get out and turn lights out, and you can hear them. Their voices getting quieter, talking outside, in front of the thing, and then pans over. It's just masterful.
Yeah, it pans her room, and then you see the bed of the other room with the blood on it. Like they've removed the bodies.
Yeah.
The forensics team's not gonna be there for an hour. They clean up the crime scenes, but they got to have the state guys got to come in and do the investigation. They pan by that room, pan by I think one other room, and then the bottom of the ladder, and it goes up the ladder, and you see the door to the attic slowly closing. So they never searched the attic when they did this. They just assumed the boyfriend did it. So the two dead bodies are still up there, and I guess the killer too. I mean, obviously, because you see the door shutting. It's not like someone was up there closing the door. Supposedly they were going to shoot 2 endings of this movie to keep it almost like it's like a secret, like a Star Wars thing nowadays. Like, we'll shoot 5 different endings so no one knows what the real ending is. They were going to shoot one with her getting killed by the killer, and then one where it's ambiguous whether the killer actually was the boyfriend or not. I think this is like the kind of middle ground between like you're pretty sure the killer's still alive, but it's not spelled out for you, but also it really could have been the boyfriend. There's no definitive answer. It's pretty much that it's not the boyfriend, the killer's still alive, but there's no definitive like, yes, here was the right answer. It's kind of cool.
To me, it's not ambiguous at all, but okay.
It's not. But I mean, like they literally were the way they said and they shot it was that it could still be. They could still.
It's just the way. Sometimes it's the way of the tone and everything. Like it just makes your brain think both ways anyway.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like it's good. Oh, it's so good.
It's really good. And then you get the last shot is zoom out right from that window and that young girl is still with a bag over her head, looking out the window from her rocking chair, and just zooms out, right, to see like the whole house, and you can see the cop just standing
outside the front door.
And then you get like one more line, right, like, it's me, Billy, or whatever, right? That's a really good movie. I feel like I just watched it again.
You feel like there's like the search party that's going around knocking on doors. Just take two hicks. Guy's got a shotgun.
Yeah.
Just like random.
Yeah, the characters were. If you want, look, it's a slasher movie from 1974 that seems very influential on the kind of slasher movies that came afterwards, with fantastic camera work, in my opinion. Really wonderful acting, really wonderful characters that you care about, with very tense violence, very tense scenes. So when they die, it sucks, and you actually care that they die. And unlike other kinds of slasher movies where you're just like almost laughing or you get a cathartic kick out of the character that gets killed because you don't give a shit about them and they're annoying.
Right. One thing I was going to say was that, like I said, I knew it wasn't the boyfriend. What I wrote is, it's just bad timing that he happened to snap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the same kind of time it's going on. So we talk about being kind of a failure in the U.S. The budget was $600,000. They went on to make $4 million.
Okay.
So it's like it didn't do a breakout, but I mean, it made its budget back, multiple times. I don't know who they were. I didn't hear the name.
Ahead of its time then, probably,
Yeah. I don't know what name it was. It was something O'Brien. They originally had a different actor to play the police captain. And he showed up on set, and he was suffering from Alzheimer's.
Oh, I heard about this.
Didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't know if this is going to work out.
He kept taking his coat off and on.
Yeah, didn't know what city he was in and shit. So it's like, oh, it felt really bad. And then he made another movie after that, too, that was like really good. So John Saxon literally came in like, you got 2 days notice, like, okay, here's a script, you're hired, I'll do it. Took a plane, got off the plane, and immediately went to the set and started shooting.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy that it worked out for them that way. Yeah, that's enough of that. Another ad break, you say? Okay, let me stretch my feet. All right, let's get to the glory of this whole thing. Santa's
We saved the best for last, right?
You're right. The funnest for last, I'd say.
Sure.
Santa's Sleigh, 2005. David Steinman. This is the only movie he wrote and directed.
Yeah.
Most times he was like miscellaneous crew. He made a perfectly competent movie.
Sure. I think he made exactly the kind of movie he was trying to make.
And I think he must have grown up in a time where, in the movies he watched, he thought he was being clever by throwing all these one-liners in from other movies.
I loved that.
But I think it works. It's a totally fun, dumb movie.
I think this is a good party movie. I think this is...
Watch with your friends.
Yeah, absolutly.
Watch by yourself. It's fine.
I watched it by myself too, but hey, Jessica watched it. Yeah. She's on her phone a little bit.
My wife walked by and she saw one scene. She went, "What the fuck are you?" Oh, okay.
There's scenes that you don't need to watch. They just fast forward through. You probably could just do like a.
How much better would it have been if Christopher Lloyd was the grandpa?
Well, sure.
That would have made the movie like legit at that point. There's a lot of named actors in this movie.
They all get killed in the first 10 minutes.
No, the pastor. Even the pastor was like a, I don't know how this movie got made. I don't know if this was like
it seems like just a kind of direct-to-video kind of
Was it a connection
thing, right?
because I know like WWE now, like was WWF.
One of those things, maybe.
Like it's like like when John Cena was like the Marine, right? Like it's in association with WWE films. Bill Goldberg, the wrestler, is Santa Claus, and he comes to beat the shit out of people.
More specifically, Santa Claus is the son of Satan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not like Krampus where there's an evil version of Santa. Santa Claus, the one you know and love, is the son of Satan, and the only reason he's given toys and been nice to people because he lost a bet.
Yeah. For 1,000 years, he had to be nice.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, so I wrote...
But the bet's up now, so now he gets to rain hell. On hell.
Yeah.
The town of hell.
The town of hell. Corky Romano. What is his name?
Chris Kattan.
Chris Kattan's in it.
Fran Drescher.
Fran Drescher's in it.
Fucking James Caan.
No. Okay, wait, sorry. Okay, I was going to ask you. I wrote down not James Caan.
That's James Caan.
Okay, who am I thinking of that's the lawyer in The Godfather?
Oh, shit.
Isn't that James Caan?
No, that's not James Caan. James Caan's one of the brothers in The Godfather.
In Godfather, right? Yeah.
Oh, who is Robert Duvall?
Okay, I wasn't sure. I got my names mixed up. I was like, is that Robert Duvall or is that James Caan? So.
But if anything will tell you about how you cannot predict where anybody's career will go in Hollywood, you can go from The Godfather to Santa's Sleigh.
I don't think that. I think this is like a fun cameo.
Yeah.
Like Fran Drescher was not a nobody. This isn't like their early days of acting. This is after people have already been on TV and stuff like that and movies. Like I said, there's the pastor. He's also he's like the dad in sitcoms and stuff like that. I don't know his name. Who else? There was other people in this movie, I think. There's the guy who owns the deli shop.
Yeah, I know him from something. Lots of things.
Okay, so Santa's Sleigh. Santa shows up and murders people on his rocket-powered sleigh being pulled by a bison.
Flying bison, yeah.
Albino bison.
That eats people.
Yeah. All right, so the first thing I don't even know how. He just shows up out of nowhere. There's this family dinner with Chris Kattan who cheats on his wife, maybe.
It's just like a lot of fuck rich people kind of stuff going on. Like everybody, they're all just sick and shallow and,
But yeah, they're weird. And then Santa just walks in the house and stabs James Caan's hands at the table, kicks Chris Kattan karate.
This is all to the Nutcracker action.
I was like, what music is this? The same music in Home Alone.
Nutcracker.
It's the dun 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 dun. Yeah. Yeah. He drinks alcohol and then blows fire in Fran Dresser and lights her hair on fire, which then makes her bald and peeling, and then drowns her in eggnog.
Yep.
Totally
kicks
karate
the table
kicks.
leg off the table, and then I know that actress too, but I don't know who she is or where I know her from. But she's like, "But I've been good." Didn't matter. He bashes her head in.
Karate kicks Chris Kattan into the china. Kicks a dog into the ceiling fan.
Oh, that was the best. And then it swings back around to him, but he dodges out of the way and it lands into the fireplace.
And then shoves a turkey leg in James Caan's mouth and then shoves his face to the table.
Yeah, he does the Joker and Dark Knight pencil trick.
Yeah. And that's why I immediately go, okay, this is great.
Yeah. Yeah, really all you need to know is go on YouTube and you can watch just this opening scene and you'll know right away if it's worth your $3 to rent it or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favorite scenes. The old lady's in the deli, and she wants meat. She's complaining about what they have. He makes her a sandwich. She gives him the senior discount even after she complains. She goes, thank you. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. And then she calls the girl a whore.
Yeah.
Which is what is...
I don't know. It's weird. It's like the movie has kind of this this is just... It sort of hates... I guess it kind of just hates I don't know, Republicans, I guess.
Really?
Kind of. Like the opening scene... It's kind of like going after rich people. The girl and they say that because she when she does her prayer or whatever, she's like, and thank you for this shallow thing, and make poor people work harder or something like that. It's
I think it just kills everybody.
Well, no, he does, but I'm saying the movie for the negative portrayal of the kind of people that he wants to make fun of.
Yeah, but then but also at the same time, all the gun nuts save the day, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's sort of both.
That's what I'm saying. It's just both.
But the old lady says some really either racist and or anti-Semitic or
very anti-Semitic. Yeah,
stuff.
Because the shop owner's a Jew,
right?
And he has a Star of David necklace and dreidels and stuff like that. And
and then you get the priest, I guess, that likes to frequent the
strip club with all the money that he gets in the donations and stuff.
Yeah.
God doesn't want your coins. God wants your bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. I don't know when the song came out, but I'm assuming it was the same time because at some point the old lady is driving her car. She's swerving on the road.
Yeah, that made Jessica laugh.
Yeah, and he goes, "Move, bitch, get out the way."
Yeah,
and I'm just I'm pretty sure that's around that time, right?
Yeah. That's the kind of movie this is.
Yeah, I don't know. What you want to say something else right now?
No.
I want to type something in the internet.
I just really enjoyed Bill Goldberg fucking shit up. That's to me that's the whole movie. It kind of drags, I think, anytime that it's not, that. But
that song was released in 2001.
Yeah,
a lot of the jokes in here
still funny.
Were kind of dated. They he shows up at the strip club and goes ho ho hose.
Yeah,
and I'm
and then grabs one of them and forcibly kisses her.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tits in that stripper. They're all nice.
What is a strip club?
But they didn't shy away. They didn't have them in bikinis. Breasts were hanging out, and they were all pretty good breasts.
You weren't kidding about this being the booby cast. I don't know. I think that all the actual attacks and action and stuff like that is really.
I will never watch a movie because there's a hot actress in it, or watch a girl streamer because she's hot. Because I don't care. It's just that if I'm going to see something that I'm watching anyways, and there happens to be an attractive female in there, that makes me happy. The girl in this movie is also very pretty.
The average one boob apologist, every 1 every 3 podcasts.
I don't know. The main girl in this, she's cute. She's got a great smile.
Yeah, she's an Australian actress from Lost, and she was in the Hills Have Eyes remake. Yeah, she's fine. Yeah. I liked her. I liked that she brushed her teeth with her finger in the.
Don't remember that.
When they leave the deli. She's like, do you want to ride? And you can tell that's the way of letting you know that she's got a crush on him because while he's closing up the store and she's still in the thing. Her breath with some toothpaste.
Yeah, that's
and
weird.
Then she gets down with this funky Christmas jam on
I wrote it down. There's a rap Christmas song playing.
It's like unironic.
Well, yeah. So there's two dorky white people in a pickup truck in white neighborhood area. I don't even know what this place is. It's totally whatever. And she's like bumping her head up and down to a rap Christmas song, and it's a bad rap Christmas song.
Yeah.
And it's not ironic.
I kept waiting for it to be like, oh, let's turn off that horrible shit. And like, nope, that was cool.
I don't understand their relationship because like
they work together.
But like, no, then she comes over to his house and they're like on the couch together watching movies late at night, like snuggled up under a blanket. Like they're together, but they're
friends.
I don't know.
He's just oblivious.
I'm looking too far into this because who cares?
Who cares? Like, it literally doesn't matter.
I mean, they end up kissing later, you know, like because it seems like they're already in a relationship. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
So what does Santa do? He goes to a strip club.
Wait. There's something I was going to say, and you kept wanting to talk about, like, stupid teenagers making out.
His valet takes the sleigh.
Oh, no. While they're in the car, he says something about, like, oh, I just always wished for Castle Grayskull when I was a kid, and instead got Easy Bake Oven. This is 2005. How old is that person?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's
supposed to be 16 in the movie.
I guess maybe that makes sense. Not really, though. Castle Grayskull was when I was a kid. I graduated high school in 2002.
Telling everybody your business.
So, all right.
She gets him a gun for Christmas, but it's not a gun. It's a transformer.
Because he always said he wanted a transformer.
And he's like, the 9mm turns into some damn robot transformer thing. Okay, so...
This is also an inventor guy, right? Isn't he an inventor guy? The grandpa?
That's what I was saying. So there's movies littered with... You can call homages or just straight, like, you know... Again, like, he saw a bunch of movies and was like, oh, I'll copy that. Yeah, the grandpa's a crazy inventor, and his gadgets kind of don't ever work right. Whatever, he goes to a strip club... He takes some coal out of his pocket and blows on it, and then it burns the strip club down. What else does he do? He goes to the deli and stabs the owner with his menorah. Stabs him through the neck into the wall, so it hangs him. He eats some of the meat, or he eats something. He eats some potato salad. He's got pieces of cheese stuck to his outfit. He bumps into some Orthodox Jews on the street, and he hisses at him like a cat.
Yeah.
And then keeps walking.
Yeah.
It's just a goofy movie. There's really not much to like.
It's, again, I enjoyed Bill Goldberg.
Right.
They didn't let him talk very much, but whenever he did, I thought it was funny.
Oh, he's great. Some guy tries to mug Santa, so then he takes the gun out and then stabs him in the eye with a candy cane.
Yeah.
And then smashes his head against the wall.
Yeah. I just like in the beginning,
they mentioned
Fran Drescher's like, Santa? And he's just like, yes, Cindy, Santa does exist. It's just like a very bizarre line in the delivery.
They mentioned the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's just references everywhere.
It's not.
Okay, best joke in the movie, right? What's your favorite? What's best gag in the movie?
I don't know. Probably the beginning.
Goes to strip club, beating up dudes. He's about to grab the pole.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
And he's
wearing gloves.
I mean, right before that, you saw a girl slide down the pole and everything with her crotch. He stops. Gets a little bottle of spray out and a paper towel and sprays the pole and has to clean it before he picks it up and proceeds to beat people with it.
Yeah, this movie is, I think, for 13-year-olds.
It totally is. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this movie has a claymation flashback.
Yeah.
But it's really like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer bad, like really old, but it's still funny.
It's okay.
Cute.
Yeah, it works. They do curling. Right.
The bet Satan's son lost was that he lost a curling match. Instead of Yahoo search engine, it's a Hooyah. Instead of NORAD tracking Christmas, it's Gonads.
Yeah.
It's just a very childish.
11-year-old, maybe. Not 13.
Debo works at the gas station.
That's right.
And he's like, I had to get out the hood. It was too violent. You know, Friday.
Yeah. This is like, it's kind of just like a good version of Lep in the Hood, here to do no good. Like, just really tacky, but
he tasers
funnier.
He tasers the police captain whose name is Caulk, but it's Caulk, C-A-U-L-K.
Sure.
And he's like, they later in the car, and he's just like, can't get enough of that cock, huh?
Yeah.
Because like the police chief is bothering him or something. It's like, cock, get it? Bill Goldberg tases him in the nuts.
He rains Christmas presents down on there, trying to get away in this snowmobile.
The music oddly sounded a lot like Inception.
Yeah,
like way before Inception was made. It
like
had
I think.
It was more the dun, 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 like that kind of when they're, I don't know. Yeah, he's riding around with his rocket sleigh and he's throwing presents that explode. Grandpa got run over by a reindeer.
Literally.
It happens and then he says it.
Yeah.
Which is that song for all you young kids that don't know. Or is it Grandma got run over by a reindeer?
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
Yeah. They go to the school for some reason and then run around the school.
That's what they always do. Whenever there's like a plan, like go to school.
And there's like this long sequence where he tries to break a window, but he can't because he's kind of a doofus, and then she breaks it.
Yeah.
And then he has to help her push through the window, and she says, "You're going to have to grab me up here," and he's scared to touch where her boobs are.
Yeah.
And she says, "Do I have to make every first move in this relationship?"
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is a movie for 15-year-olds. Like, absolutely.
It's absolutely a movie for 15-year-olds. But if you feel like you're in the mood to be 15.
I don't know why, but when they go to the school, at one point, Santa just goes, "Ha," and a fireball comes out of his mouth.
That's true.
That's what my wife saw and was like, what?
Watching. Isn't that how he makes like the little hell hole in the ice rink?
No, he kicks the ground.
Oh, okay.
And it makes a big crack. Yeah, I guess Grandpa just comes back as an angel who was an angel, but then he's back as a person again. What?
He was always an angel.
I don't know. I like the part. Second best joke in the movie. What is it?
Near the end?
They're on the ice rink. He's got a Zamboni. And he's going to smash him with a Zamboni.
Wait, then he like takes the broom, right? No, it's not. What does he do?
The kid shines a flashlight in his eyes, which is just a flashlight. It's not like it's like super blinding or going to kill him or anything like that. He just shines a light at him. So he's driving the Zamboni. He's got his hands over his eyes. He goes, "What are you doing? I'm Santa Claus. I'm not fucking Dracula."
Yeah, I remember that line.
Like, there are things to laugh at in this movie that are stupid but fun. Yeah, the curling match again. Okay, why did the chestnut, like, the nutcracker shot a nut out of its mouth and then it pierced his chest? Is that just because he lost his power?
Christmas magic or something.
But it was just a chestnut. Get it? Chestnut? It hit him in the chest?
Chestnut.
Oh, God.
It's a super-powered, high-velocity chestnut.
And then there's the high-speed chase on the what do you call them? The snowmobiles?
Snowmobile.
And there's guys shooting clay pigeons.
Yeah.
Skeet shooters.
One of them has a rocket launcher.
And then they realize, we have to lead him back in the sky so those guys can shoot him. And then her dad shows up with the rocket launcher and blows him up. Blows up the bison.
Yeah.
And she convinces them to do that because they're hunters and they got the best kill of all time, a bird reindeer. Or bird deer.
Yeah, what? I don't remember what they called that. Bird deer, yeah, something like that.
And then Santa Claus is taking a plane back to the North Pole as a biker.
It's like a biker.
What?
Yeah.
It is a fun ass movie though.
It's worth $3.99.
I wish there was a Blu-ray of this.
Yeah?
Because I'm a snob. Actually, I didn't check, but I think it's only DVD.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. They should just do a super cut of just all the Bill Goldberg scenes. I think that's the only reason to watch the movie, but
it's one of the things, like, so we solicited on Twitter, what kind of movies, whatever, and you got that, and I was like, "Oh, that looks great." And I sent it to you, and I figured it's one of those things where you're gonna watch it like really.
No, it's
like
fun.
Okay, like we have Krampus, which is kind of a comedy, but it's it's a real horror movie. We got Gremlins, Black Christmas, Deadly Night, Silent Night, and then Santa's Sleigh. And I thought you'd be like, "What are we doing with this one?" But I think it was the fun little icing on the cake that we needed to just like the sweetener,
Yeah. Hey, if you've exhausted all your Christmas horror movies, I don't even know what it's a horror movie. I guess it is. It's a horror movie. I think this is...
It's a horror comedy.
It's fun to watch by yourself. It's totally fun to watch by yourself, but I think that this is probably best played in a group of friends.
Yeah. Is it
with substances?
Drinking game?
Yeah,
absolutely. You could totally do it.
Okay. You want to put a bow on this?
Oh, I wish I had a good, last pun to throw out there, but I think I used up all my pun energy. So that's it, right? And let's rank them. What order?
Sure, I guess.
They don't really make sense.
We forgot to rank whatever we did last time.
Saw? We ranked the Saws movies.
No, we did something else.
Yeah, the Saw movies.
I thought we did something else.
We did the Saw movies.
Okay.
If we didn't, I forgot, but I feel like it was Saw.
Okay, it's just Black Christmas and everything else. Black Christmas, Gremlins. Black Christmas, Gremlins. This is not hard. Black Christmas, Gremlins, Krampus, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Santa's Sleigh.
I'd put Santa's Sleigh.
Deadly Night.
It's like, which one would you watch again? You enjoy, Not what's technically competently a movie. It's what would you watch? I go Gremlins, then Black Christmas, then Krampus, then Santa's Sleigh, and then Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, except for the Gremlins bracket. I mean, they're both classics. I just think Black Christmas speaks more to my sensibilities. I think Black Christmas is a fucking excellent film.
I'm excited to I could show my kid Gremlins in a year or two.
But Gremlins is fantastic and not going anywhere. So.
I mean, he can't watch the Gremlins yet, but he can watch Big Trouble in Little China.
I'd say out of all the movies that...
Why is he getting bigger? Why did he blow up? I don't know. He killed the guy's boss, and he just got mad and blew up. I don't know. That guy has electricity. Yes, he does. Why? I don't know.
Well, you see, there was a board meeting.
Yeah. Why are all the statues falling over? Well, see, he knocked one over, and they're like dominoes.
Yeah. There's a really funny Key and Peele sketch that is supposed to explain why Gremlins 2 exists. It's pretty funny.
It was just basically like all the worst dumb things they could think about, or it was like one person's ideas or something like that. I don't remember.
It was just it was like some like I don't even know, like a script, kind of a flamboyant like fixer came in and was just like, we're just gonna freestyle. Like, just tell me the first thing you think of. And
Electricity. Yeah, it's electrical gremlin. He's in the phone. Yeah. All right. So that'll do it for us. We'll be back next month with a short 3-movie series. We're gonna let you figure out what horror movie series there is 3 movies of. You can try to figure it out. And it will be a free. We're not going to charge for it for any Patreon people. Just throwing that out there. We'll be back in January with one of those because we have probably the next month we'll do something bigger. So this will just give us a little time to do something small, and then we'll move on to another good classic horror series, or we might just do the Wrong Turn movies.
Oh, God. They were on sale for Black Friday.
You sent me a text message with a picture of it. I said, oh, you better buy that.
Great.
And it's Hellboy.
Working on it.
Working on it
next year.
Sometime. Twin Peaks. Maybe I'll do a Twin Peaks season 3 thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on Twitter. Should I do a Twin Peaks season 3 recap? Well, too bad. I'm not going to. Because, hey, if season 4 is going to come out, I'll do a season 3 recap.
This was fun.
Yes. All right. Good night. And you'll hear from us next month.
Happy holiday.
Happy New Year. Literally, you'll hear from us after the year's over, probably. All right. It's been fun. I need a pun. Wrap it up, B.
There you go. Good enough.
All right. Good night. Oh, wrong button, as always.